Good morning, everybody. Stone Jones here, aka Stony Carey. Welcome to TEE TV. Now, first up the bat, we've got our great co-host here. Now we got to start first with the man who runs the place, whose face runs the place. We go with our man Damian J. Myers, folks. You know, soundbite extraordinaire, Photoshop extraordinaire. You see what you're seeing here, folks. I mean, he's lovely. He's lovely, folks. Give him a hand.
How's it going, mates?
And next up, folks, on deck, we have the stickiest of the icky. I don't mean that he's nasty, he doesn't shower, folks. I mean the good weed stuff, folks. That's what I mean. I'm talking about the guy, only the finest skills and caliber of co-host comes on this show, and that's who we have right here in the middle. That's who we have. Charles Weeden? Question mark.
I am hilarious, and you will quote everything I say.
And folks, batting that cleanup is the man, the myth, the tobacco spitter, chewer, or okay, we're lying about the tobacco, folks. Let's just move on. Let's just get to the man who's the cleanup man for this team, Steve. Don't call me Lolo Jones. And welcome once again to TEE TV, folks, where we're gonna do a review of Fringe Season 3, and we're gonna do Halloween, the 2018 version, the arc that seems to want to disintegrate everything that made Halloween good in the first place. Just a continuance of the slide down shit mountain that was Halloween, I guess. But I guess we'll have our own opinion. I'm sorry, was I getting my opinion too early? Let's just get right into it. Batter up, folks. But we don't have to get into it right away. I mean, we'll have a bit of a small show. So what is the theory here? Science, research, medicine. It's Fringe, it's Halloween, it's why keep a man like this alive. That's evil. That only lives to hurt and maim and unalive other people. Why keep this man alive? Why is it interesting to hear, you know what I'm saying, to interview and to research a man who hasn't spoken a word in like 40 years? And Fringe, I mean, we understand what Fringe is all about, and science and discovery and technology and evolution, but how far is too far for? I think that's the overlying theme of both of these pieces of content. How far is too far, folks? What is the right decision and what is the wrong one, folks? How far is too far?
How far is too far?
Like keeping a guy alive that hasn't spoken a word in over 2 decades or more. I mean, it's what are we learning still? What are we learning?
You can't execute a man just for being mute. That's kind of rude.
Absolutely. Michael Myers was mute, then he would be absolutely wrong. Loomis would be absolutely wrong for wanting him dead. But the fact remains is that he killed several people, and every time he had a chance, killed several more. So, and then he still doesn't want to say a word about it in his own defense. So, he's not eating peanut butter, pretending that it's shit. He's not in the courtroom, you know what I'm saying, acting like a donkey. He hasn't said one word, and he sits there, and every time he gets a chance and gets a free hand, there's an unchained, somebody's neck snapping.
So guess what? Technically, at this point, he's only killed... How many people did he kill in the original movie? Like 4?
So what?
Let's see.
That's definitely range with some people.
He killed Lori's best friend, who was also her neighbor. She killed. Not she. He killed her other friend, who was across the street, who was getting down and dirty with her boyfriend. She also, God damn it, He also killed
That boyfriend.
the boyfriend and
so that'd be
pinned
3.
him to the wall with the knife and then just stared at him for a little bit. Crap. I'm trying to remember who else he killed. So that right there is 3 people that he killed. And then of course, at the beginning of the movie, Michael also killed his sister as she was combing her hair in front of her mirror. So that's 4. And then, is there anyone else he killed in the original?
I feel like the body count was pretty low in the original. So that might be
I
it.
think he killed. I think he killed some random homeowner to get his knife initially.
Oh God, it's been
that
weeks, dude.
Actually, that might have been the start of the second movie.
Are you sure?
Maybe, yeah.
Are you sure?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Because that would have been the hospital, fellas.
I don't know. I think
In
it was
the
only. I think it was
original-
only 4
in the original
people he
number
killed.
2. In the original number 2 would have been the hospital. She was going to the hospital at that point after after surviving him the initial time and everything roots to the
Yeah.
hospital. And
Yeah,
he
but
was-
in the original Halloween 2, the body count was definitely bigger. More people died in the second movie.
yes, but I do believe that when he touched back down, when he actually touched, because I mean he for a long time when he touched back down in Haddonfield, he was just kind of stalking around. He wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
And I think when he really started to go into action, I think he killed a random neighbor to get the knife initially.
Okay.
Damn, I can't remember that part. Because I remember that fairly sure 2 started with him sort of making his way through the neighborhood after escaping.
Because a lot of it was going through first person perspective. You didn't really see
Yeah.
him. You were seeing you were seeing through his eyes. So at one point, like I think he went and killed somebody, or at least snuck. If he didn't kill somebody at that point, he snuck in somebody's house and got the knife. I thought that he might have killed that person.
Yeah, I remember him killing a woman to get the knife. I'm almost certain that was the start of 2.
Because I know he had no weapon when he touched down, so he had to get one at some point. You know what I'm saying, to start on the spree.
Because in 2, he'd just been shot 6 times, so he had to, run away and find himself a weapon.
No.
Evil. 6 times evil.
But at any rate, even 3 people would be death sentence range for some. You know what I'm saying, in some situations.
Oh, and yeah, let me just say this. I can't remember the doctor's name, but apparently the person that Laurie called the new Loomis. Yeah, this guy is a fucking idiot. He's just what exactly was their plan with this guy?
I don't know.
It's just were they trying to make him like a disciple of Michael Myers, saying like, "Oh, Michael, please step on me," which is exactly what fucking happened.
He fucking, yeah. 'Cause so we're jumping forward to nearly the end.
Yeah.
When this new Dr. Loomis type guy, who throughout the movie just seems to be a Dr. Loomis type guy, except more useless.
Yeah.
And
No, he definitely. I'm sorry, he definitely was not a Dr. Loomis type guy.
I feel like that's what they were trying for, though.
No, when I look back on it now from some of the content that I saw, he always seemed like he had a touch of somebody who was a little too fixated on the situation. You're lobbying with the board to get assigned to Michael Myers. I mean, it seems like, it just seems like no one seems to recognize, like, you're so astute at analyzing other people that pay you, but seem to be complete dullards when analyzing your own coworkers. It's like you can't tell a motherfucker is fixated, on a situation. You can't fucking tell.
Yeah. This guy's got like sexy pinups of Michael Myers in his office. It seems fine.
He just sits in his chair, just smoking a cigarette, going like, "Yeah, that's nice."
Look, it doesn't
What
even
it feels like.
It doesn't look. Trust me. If anybody who's been in therapy knows, you can say something. You can say something the wrong way, and it could be taken the wrong way and have you viewed a certain way. So it doesn't even have to be anything as stark as that. But I'm somebody who's lobbying, who's really trying to press the issue, petitioning to get assigned to Michael Myers, where it didn't seem like it was something that was really necessary at all. It's just like, come on, no one's taking a second look at that.
Like it doesn't raise a red flag anywhere.
That's enough to get me to take a second look. I don't have to catch him in his room. I don't have to catch him in his office rubbing one out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's enough for me to be like, okay, man, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, where did you come from, and why the fuck do you need to be? Why do you need to be assigned to Michael Myers, asshole? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Why are all the case files stuck together now? What the fuck's going on? What is
Oh
this?
God, the paper is all sticky.
Why you guys want everybody to be horror porn fucks, man? Like, Jesus Christ. I understand. I'm saying I don't need to see it. I don't need to catch that. You guys saying it's certain. Certain. Don't touch the fucking files. Don't touch the files,
you just don't need to see it.
Oh man.
You guys are assuming it's true shit. I'm not gonna touch those files. They're sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man?
Maybe he just likes candy, but I don't know. There's something about this guy.
Yeah.
The point that I was making is that I don't need to catch this guy in his office. You know what I'm saying? Doing that to be able, to be able to feel like there's something not quite right here. I mean, when you petition hard to where no one's saying, okay, this doctor, we need you to you know what I'm saying, now that Dr. Loomis has passed on, we really would like for you to kind of analyze and work with Michael Myers. And it was like they didn't see any reason, and he's just feeling like there's every reason that he should be a son of it, and no one's okay. It doesn't take much more than that. You know, so for me to be like, okay, this is something a little bit
A little bit weird with this dude. And then turns out there's something very weird with this dude.
Well, let's jump back to the earlier parts of the movie. I do not like the change that they made, where they got rid of the whole thing where Michael was Laurie's brother. I don't like that.
And they dismiss it so it's like a sentence to just completely get rid of it.
Oh yeah. It's like within like the first 15 minutes of the movie where they have those three kids just walking on the sidewalk, and one guy says hey, wasn't he like her brother or something? It's like, no, that's just something people said to try to explain away the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Oh, okay.
It's just no, it's just out of all the freaking movies we had before, even the Rob Zombie ones, they were still saying that Michael Myers was her brother. And then in this movie, they're like, nope, he was never her brother.
And you're like, so what the fuck's it all about then?
Exactly.
See, it becomes about, but then here's the fun part though. Real quick before I go into that, but then at certain parts, they still try to implicate like it may be something else going on, something else driving Michael Myers to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like you do all of this. It's like you blow up the bridge and then say, I think the answers of where we're going, you know what I'm saying, lies right beyond this bridge that we just blew up. You know, it's like no, Michael Myers is not her sister. There's no cult of Thorn, but I wonder what's driving Michael Myers to do what he's doing.
Yeah, what is that over there?
Well, no. The whole fact of Michael Myers being Laurie's brother is I can't talk right now. It explains why Michael keeps going after Laurie. It explains it. Even if you take the whole Cult of Thorn thing out of the equation, it still explains why he still goes after her. But now that they take that away and he's no longer her brother, why would he care? After all these years, after 40 years
serial
of being
killer
in a mental institution, why would he care to go after her again?
Crazed serial killer ego, I guess that is what they're trying to sell. That's what they're trying to sell.
She's the one that got away, kind of thing.
There are plenty of other victims he could go after. Plenty.
So None seem to be as sweet as taking her down. Apparently, it's like they want to try to push him into like Freddy Krueger territory with like Nancy or whatever, and it's just like, why, fucking why?
Well, yeah, and we all know how that turned out when they went into New Nightmare, where they decided to do a real world scenario and have like Freddy Krueger come into the real world and go after Heather Langenkamp, the actress's name that played Nancy.
Yeah, it sort of ended up becoming sort of a mixture between Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street at that point.
Yeah, it was so fucking weird.
Kind of meta kind of thing going on.
Yeah, New Nightmare is my least favorite of the Freddy Krueger movies. I do not like New Nightmare at all.
I barely even remember it.
Yeah.
But that's my theory. But that's pretty much my theory to it at that point, to try to make him more of, like I said, either crazed serial killer, like just fixated on the one that he couldn't get no matter what he did, or trying to make it some sort of like Freddy Krueger, Nancy type situation. Like that, one or the other, which I think is weak, because it to me is weak. The Nancy, because it's like the Nancy Freddy angle had a history there because of her parents, because it starts way back with her parents and everything like that.
Well, yeah, because like her parents and everybody else's parents in that neighborhood killed Freddy Krueger because of what he did. So it was an act of revenge for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with Michael, there is no act of revenge. He's just a mindless killer.
Who seems to, again, have inexplicable knowledge in this one.
I would actually compare Michael closer to Jason Voorhees than Freddy Krueger.
No, but the cult of Hain, aka Sam Hain, the cult of Thorn, aka Sam Hain, arc basically even separated him from Jason and other shit like that, because there was a whole nother thing at play that was bigger than even Michael Myers. That was that was always the thing that made a non-speaking, not real fast moving killer more more dynamic, because there seemed to be a whole other situation at play that was even bigger than Michael Myers in that situation. He seemed to be the Sam Hain lottery winner when it came to his family bloodline. He was the guy picked to take everybody else out to appease the gods, and everything like that. So it was like, so it was like that's his driving force. That's the thing, idiots. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. That's the thing that drives Michael Myers to want to kill Laurie, because because he's a Sam Hain lottery winner. God damn it. That's what and the cult of Thorn perpetuates that whole Sam Hain ritual. That's what made Michael Myers more dynamic, in the original series, because of that situation. Otherwise, you got a mute fucking hardly moving motherfucker that a lot of holes. How, like he said, a lot of questions. How does he know how to drive? How does he fucking know how to drive after all this time? Why does he all of a sudden go into action, at this point? Who in the fuck helps him out in part? Who helps him break out of jail at one point? I mean, you would have to redo a lot of this shit, and that's what these last two series have been, trying to erase what they did in the first, in the first series. Trying to erase it completely, and eventually one person just tries to do more than the other, and then with David Gordon Green or whatever, let's just completely eliminate the whole brother-sister angle, so we can completely eliminate the Sam Hain angle.
And like now he's got this, without any kind of reason, he's got this kind of psychic knowledge where he just knows who's connected to who, where everyone is. Like it's this guy who's been locked away for 40 years all of a sudden just knows exactly where to go, what to do, who's who.
I don't know. It's just maybe the Halloween gods taught him how to drive a car. I don't know. It's like, this is where you honk the horn. That's the gas pedal. That's the brake pedal. That's the gear shift. That's the emergency brake.
Maybe in the
That's
mental
turn
hospital,
signal.
he had like a PlayStation with one of those, remember the steering wheel with the brakes and stuff you used to be
Yeah,
able
but
to get?
those are terrible to teach you how to drive.
A guy
Yeah.
a guy who hasn't spoken a word since he was a preteen. You know, anytime he gets a free hand, someone's gonna die. But yeah, I'm gonna teach him how to drive. Yeah,
I
that's
like
gonna
how
happen.
Rob Zombie did that, where Rob Zombie had Michael continuing to speak for a long fucking time. Like, it proved that Michael was capable of speaking the whole time. And even in Halloween 2, at the end of the movie where he stabbed Loomis, he said, "Die." That's what he said. He specifically said, "Die." And I mean, I liked that's actually one of the few things about Halloween 2 that I liked, is when he had Michael Myers specifically speak at the end of the movie.
No, I don't. I don't like the fucking fact. You're gonna bring this back up because I was really glad to be done with these series of movies from Rob Zombie. But since you bring it back up, I don't like the fucking fact that he changed the fucking kid in in the sequel. I don't fucking like that fact.
I didn't like that either. I didn't, because that was very jarring. It was like,
I think it's just because the kid
It's not-
he
it's
either
not-
aged out or he got too tall or something. It was something like that.
I mean, it's
No, but
very.
they made him.
It is
But
possible.
but
It is possible
regardless,
that he aged out.
it's not even about that. I felt like for me, they tried. He tried to make him. He tried to make him sweeter, more innocent seeming, less menacing. You know,
I noticed that too. I noticed that too.
When he wanted to try to all of a sudden go with the crazy white horse angle, and the sequel, he wanted to make him more, what I'm saying, more innocent seeming and airy and a little bit, just aloof and everything like that. But because the other kid that they put in, he was meant to be menacing. He was meant to be intimidating.
Fucking like
the
his
kid,
kind of
the kid
dead
in
eyes that he had going.
the kid in the first Halloween, with the done by Rob Zombie, he was more like a psychopath. He was.
Yeah.
He was more like a psychopath, while the kid in the second movie was more childlike. He was more
It's just
innocent.
a regular
He was-
kid, basically.
He was just an ordinary kid.
which does not track to what the fuck he depicted in the first movie.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't. It does not track at all. And he was still able to do it. The kid was still able to do it, and I felt like when he was in the institution and he was wanting to go home and he still acted like he didn't understand. It was still, to me, it was more powerful for that kid to be doing that than to have some kid that he's making seem sweeter and the hair's more blonde and he's, and it's all of this type of shit like that. It just doesn't track. But when that kid who did all that and you felt like he could do all that and he had this look on his face and like Damian said, the dead eyes, but it's like, but then he's still like, his mind doesn't understand. Now his mind acts like he doesn't understand. He wants to go home, and his mother won't spend time with him, and he's asking her to please put his mask back on and hide his ugliness. He's doing. To me, I don't know. I mean, you got to stick with that, or at least stick with that energy. If you got to change the kid because he's getting too big or whatever, but I mean, we're progressing the fucking movie. But anyway, if you're going to change the kid, but at least bring another kid that brings that same energy to the situation. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't just
Yes,
rip
I
away
agree.
all the depth that you had in that first movie.
Yeah, and also, wasn't it only like a couple of years that Halloween 2 came out after the first one?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't think he would have like grew that much in 2 years.
I doubt
Yeah,
it, but,
it depends on his age. Like, it's possible. Some kids do just. It's just like, wait, what happened?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But still, like I said, and I would be even willing to accept another kid, but bring the same energy that kid was bringing from before. Don't try to create something, some little kid with wide eye and they just, oh, my mommy will be back and all this type of shit. It's like, oh my god, really, dude? Like, is this kid on LSD? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Look. I sure hope the kid is not on LSD. But here, little segue here. We are going to find out about a certain somebody who is on LSD in Fringe, and that.
One person in particular is pretty much constantly on LSD or something similar.
Well, no, I'm not talking about him. Apparently,
Yeah, I know.
one character thinks this other character is an observer. Oh man, that episode was great. It's like, you're bald. I think he's an observer. Oh man.
That show it's really got some of the best examples of just natural comedy
Yeah.
in any show I've ever seen. Like, never when there's a joke or anything that's actually funny, it never feels like it was written, like we're going to shoehorn a joke in here. It plays.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know where Stone went off to. So you want to keep talking about Halloween, or do you want to go on a sidebar and talk about something else?
What else we got?
I don't know. I mean, we could potentially talk about something else. We could discuss at a later date. Like, there's another like, is there any other shows that we could discuss after we're done with Fringe? Is there like another movie? Well, we are also going to be discussing Saw when we're done with Halloween.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, are we including Saw X in that?
Yeah. I guess it all depends on when it comes out on digital.
Okay.
Really, I mean, go to the movies to see it, I suppose.
I mean,
when's it comes out? End of
they don't
October,
have theaters in Australia, so it's just
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Australia doesn't even exist. Why would they bother to put movie theaters in this fucking mythical land of kangaroos? I mean, come on.
Kangaroos and shrimp on pizza.
Teddy bears that feed their children with diarrhea.
Oh, God damn it! I fucking hate koalas.
They're the worst. They're adorable, but they're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Kish.
Little smooth-brained little bastards. We always talk about Bauerschwein being dirty bastards. Koalas, they're the real dirty bastards.
I'll have to change that meme I made.
Yeah.
Swap it out.
But no, it's just no. I mean, I'll be able to watch Saw X when it comes out. I'll be able to watch it. I mean, and since it's the newest Saw movie that we have, when it in years, I'm going to go to the theater probably the day it comes out.
I think it's around Halloween, right? Like, I think it's somewhere at the end of October.
It is coming out in October. I don't know if it's going to be the same week as Halloween, but it's definitely going to be coming out in October.
You'd be kind of stupid not to, really.
Yeah, because
if you're going to go October, you might as well.
Every Saw movie that ever released came out in October, except for maybe Jigsaw and Spiral. I don't think those movies came out in October.
No,
I'm not sure about those.
I think it became a thing. I think I would even go as far as to say that maybe the first one didn't either, because I mean, maybe the first two, because it didn't become a thing until after it really became successful, and it became a thing. Like, every time Halloween came around, you got a new Saw coming. But I think initially that wasn't like the complete idea, because I don't remember like really catching, it coming out around Halloween when the first Saw came out, really.
Okay, all right. I'm looking at it now. The original Saw released in Sundance, the Sundance Film Festival, January 19th, 2004. But to the general public, it released October 29th, 2004.
Okay, just in time.
So it was October.
Wow.
So. Yeah.
And then didn't Paranormal Activity pretty much take over the Saw slot? I feel like they started doing I think one of those a year pretty much for a while. I think that.
Yeah, they did end up doing Paranormal
ish.
Activity for a long time, and then they stopped doing that. Which also, if you guys decide to discuss Paranormal Activity, count me out, because I do not like found footage movies.
Oh, you know what then? You know what? Paranormal Activity, fine. But see, you're going widespread. So you're going into Cloverfield for me, and we can fight, pal. Because I
Oh, Rick,
fucking love Cloverfield. Love the found footage. Yum 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 found footage. Yum
Look,
yum.
the only found footage movie that I have ever watched that I actually enjoyed was Chronicle. I saw that movie.
never seen it.
And
What's it about?
it's not really a horror movie. It's a bunch of kids, like high school kids. They're at a party, and one of the kids, played by Dane DeHaan, is like being bullied, and so he leaves the party and he's out in the parking lot by himself and he's crying. And one of the other party goers, played by Michael B. Jordan, like walks up to him and says like, "Hey, dude, you okay? Everything all right?" And they're out there talking and everything. And then Dane DeHaan's character's cousin shows up and tries to take him home. They end up coming across a cave, and they go into the cave and they find this object that's glowing and it's emitting this pulse. And when they touch this object, their nose starts to bleed and they start getting headaches, and they're like, "Sorry, we need to get out of here," and they start running out of the cave and everything, and then they all go home. And then over the course of like several days, they start noticing changes. They start developing superpowers. They have super strength, they have invulnerability. Eventually they're able to start flying like Superman, and they start pushing the limits of their capabilities. And Dane DeHaan, however,
Oh God, no.
Dane DeHaan's character kind of goes down.
He
like,
might want. He just. I just want to caution you, Charles. He might want to see it. I'm just
But
saying.
no, basically what it
kinda
is
do,
is that
Huh?
people
kinda
it's
do, yeah.
basically like a found footage movie for people developing superpowers is basically what it is.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I love Cloverfield found footage. It don't bother me none.
Keep in mind though that Chronicle was directed by Josh Trank.
And what's another one? What's another one that I recently saw that I fucking liked too? But
Josh Trank is the guy that also directed the Fantastic Four movie with Kate Mara and Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan, the one that failed.
I
Came
like
out in
the
2015.
reboot, I guess.
Yeah, came out in 2015. Everybody calls it Fantastic because it was a disaster. And
yeah. But won't give one chance to a Thundercats live action movie. I just I'm still
Yeah,
gonna keep
but-
saying it every chance I get. Every time we talk about these superhero movies and these sci-fi fantasy movies
Look,
and whatnot, I'm always gonna keep bringing out that it's starting to border on racist. Not giving a shot at a Thundercats live action movie. I think it's just.
look, I'm right there
fucking
with you.
huge.
I grew up on Thundercats, dude. I want a live action Thundercats too.
It's kind of baffling it's never been attempted.
Are we
Because-
going to get it? Probably not. But I mean, I'm still holding out hope.
And not even two successful Black Panther movies can even make it seem like it's paving a pathway for that to even happen. It's if two successful Black Panther movies doesn't pave a way for fucking Thundercats movie, then I don't know what it's going to. I don't know what.
I
is,
don't even.
really.
I don't even think the two can be compared.
What do you mean?
Black Panther, which is a guy that dresses up in a superhero costume, and then cat people.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing, but still the same mentality. African,
Yeah.
African. And,
Seriously.
you know what I'm saying?
Also-
characters with African lineage that
The
that
Thundercats
people,
were aliens. They were not human. They were aliens.
but yet they still take on the features of jungle cats mostly found in Africa. And their main nemesis is, you know what I'm saying, is an old ass mummy who lives in a fucking pyramid with a goddamn tomb sarcophagus. You know, I'm sorry if
Yes,
it doesn't,
I'm familiar with
it doesn't-
Mumra.
if it
Okay, I'm
doesn't-
familiar with him.
If Thundercats doesn't scream African show, then I don't know what the fuck does.
Well, fine. If we're going to get if we should get a Thundercats live action thing, then we should definitely get a Silverhawks live action thing.
Look, let me tell you something. The leader of the Thundercats' name is almost like a verbal blink quick. You know what I'm saying? And you'll believe is this. Like Lion-O,
Yeah, Lionel, dude.
You speak quick.
Lionel Richie, he's great.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point. That's exactly my point right there.
I loved his song. I loved his song. Like, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?" It's just I
Meow.
love that song. Yeah.
Is it meow you're looking for?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. It's like I said. I'm starting to call bullshit. I mean, look, man. It's because then they gotta basically, because then what you know you're gonna have to do. You're going to have to give African American characters the voices on those. You know what I'm saying? On those. You know what I'm saying? On that movie, you're gonna have to give them the fucking voices. You're gonna have them play the characters.
Well, yeah, because I mean, so what you're saying, like, which is it? Do you want them to do the voices, or do you want them to put on the prosthetics?
When I thought about live action, I mean either way. But I think you gotta give it over. You're gonna have to give all the main characters over, especially the Thundercats. You're gonna have to give them over to African American actors.
I agree. I do. I agree.
They don't want to do that, even though two successful fucking Black Panther movies, and they still don't want to give it a try.
I don't know how successful Wakanda Forever actually was, but
please, they sat there and had water Mexicans beat the shit out of Wakandans, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. I heard it made a lot of money.
Okay, all right.
Wait, so
you called them water Mexican.
Huh?
I thought you called them Water Ricans.
No, that was Avatar. So there's two movies out there with competing.
No, excuse me. I apologize. Those are the Aqua Mexicans. I apologize. You're right. Those are the Aqua Mexicans because the Water Ricans are from Avatar: Way of Water. You're absolutely
right. Okay,
you're absolutely
there we go.
right.
Yeah,
so they're the Water Ricans, and then they are the Aqua Mexicans. You're absolutely right.
Oh my God.
Or the Aqua Aztecs, however you want to go with that. You know.
I think it's close. I think it's closer to the Incans, the Water Ricans, because their culture is closer to the Incans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it still paves its way into Mexico. So I mean, I just maybe we'll just say the Aqua Aztecs. You know what I'm saying? We'll split the difference.
Sure.
We'll just split the difference, all right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Anyone vaguely Spanish is all the same, Redstone.
You're Aztec, pal. You're Aztec, all right? You sacrifice humans on on a tall pyramid. I know. You know what I'm saying? Those are your peoples. I know that. Come on.
I'm sure they have a serious shark problem when they do
that. Ooh, tech. You know?
Yeah, because when they cut out the heart, the blood goes everywhere, and that just drives the sharks crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
But I'm just saying. I don't want to be a buzzkill, folks. I'm just saying that I think Thundercats could work. I really.
I'm not saying it wouldn't. I think it actually would work. But
I know you. I'm talking about for the other people that have an issue that don't think it can work. It can fucking work. It can fucking work.
It could work, but I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody has already pitched Thundercats to one studio or another, but these studios would rather do a movie based off of a fucking board game like Battleship than do something proper like Thundercats.
No, I'll go even better than that. They rather do the same fucking movie, you know what I'm saying, different versions of it 3 and 4 fucking times, and you know what I'm saying, and still can't get it right, rather than actually give a shot to to a shit that still maintains a cult following. You can still. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I'll say it quickly, they could turn Thundercats into an actual franchise that could span multiple movies, multiple TV shows, and plenty of merchandising opportunities. They could literally do that.
But they have to act like they believe that that a show that's predominantly African or African American can actually carry their money. Like I said, the doubts were there before. See, that's why I bring up Black Panther, because the doubts were there before, and then Black Panther did what it did. And it's like, and then to take the sacrifice that they took, the hit that they took in the second movie, to have everything that went on in that movie, and it made money, and it's still like, okay, can we try some other things here? I'm even willing to try I'm even willing to like another cult thing that I fucking love because out of all the things that I saw, it actually had one character up there that was African American, the Bionic Six, and in this day and time, that could fucking work.
Bionic 6. What? Where have I heard that before? Bionic 6.
Now, Stone. So they greenlight Thundercats, starring Anthony Mackie. Happy or kind of annoyed?
Oh shit!
I'm guessing kind of annoyed.
Not if he plays Mumra. If he plays Mumra, I'm good with that.
I vaguely remember this show.
I'll be totally fine with that. But yeah, it's basically about a whole family that somehow, like I say, and like, but the couple, they adopted. I think a couple of them are biological children, and then maybe one or two they adopted, because I think there's one Asian kid and of course the African American kid. I think they adopted into the family, and then they seem to all have bionic attachments and things like that gives them certain abilities. It's more about it was more about science than about like superpowers or mutations or things like that. It was science that made them powerful and things like that, and different ways. Like the one girl was able to be like super fucking fast. Like they all had bionic abilities and it would be faster, but her particular ability made her faster than any of them and things like that. So everybody had a certain thing that stood out, of their bionic abilities and shit like that. So, and at that time when I was a kid, there was very few, and no one was influencing me to feel like I wanted to see somebody who looked like me in some of these shows and things like that. But it's something that kind of came natural. Like when I saw it, it was just like I felt like wow, I didn't know I wanted to see it like that. But then when I saw it, I was willing to get up at 5 something in the morning just to watch the Bionic 6, and then I would go back to sleep and then wake up back up later on that morning. But I would wake up just to watch that show, and it was on TV in my room, and then go back to sleep. Just because I wanted to support this one show that had the guy up there that had the same skin color as me, honestly, for the first time in my life at that point.
It would be. I mean, yes. I'm white, so it's just like I don't have to worry about representation or anything like that. But it would be kind of nice to see representation for seeing someone with autism. In pop culture, it would be kind of nice to see something like that. Because the only time I've seen someone with autism in a show is probably outside of a parody would be The Good Doctor. That's it.
I would like to contribute.
Graham.
My little guy watches a show called Hero Elementary. And there is an African American character who's one of the main characters, and he kind of has that. He kind of has a thing. He doesn't like a lot of loud noises. He has his headphones. Doesn't like a lot of loud noises and things like that. And he's kind of particular that way. So he's, what I'm saying. So he has that, but he's extremely smart. He invents a lot of inventive gadgets and and things like that he that he uses to help the team and everything like that. So he's a great representation. Okay. And and he's a person of color also. So definitely. So it's definitely something that he watches like all the time. So great show. I mean,
I'm not saying that people with autism have not been represented.
No, what I want to do is support you in that and say, here's something that I happened to have come across where I felt like it was a positive, it was a positive representation. Because you're right, you don't see much, and I wanted to at least say, look, for the very few out there that I do see, I wanted to at least highlight one that was given, in my opinion, a positive representation of someone with autism, and that was Hero Elementary. Just to kind of be in the conversation and kind of impart some positivity along with that. That's all. I'm not saying I disagree with you and saying like, hey, this one show proves that they're being represented. No, it's animation, and it definitely can be more done to represent that. I'm just saying that, look, you know what, for the very few few things that you do see out there, that's one thing out there that's positive. I feel like it's a positive representation of, and it doesn't single it out. It shows that autism can affect any race, you know what I'm saying, any race, any walk of life. So and
it's not just isolated to one ethnic group or another. It affects everybody.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to make sure that was put out there, you know what I'm saying, in support of what you were saying. That's all.
Yeah, but no, and in hindsight, I also remember that another show that we have discussed on this podcast, Hannibal. It was confirmed. It was confirmed that Will Graham was also on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that.
But I would say, if I could impart an asterisk in that, I would still say that I felt it a bit. I felt a bit offended in a way that in a certain part of the show, his autism was sort of used as a way to sort of make him seem like he could have done those murders. At that situation when Hannibal was trying to frame him,
yes,
I didn't really like that fact. You know that because of lack of evidence, they use more of his personality, his affect, his.
I don't think that has to do with his autism. I think that has to do with the fact that he's a profiler. Because
but they did do that. See, the thing is, because of his autism simply was the reason why people were a bit on edge about him being out in the field and things like that, and which was more why he was doing more, you know what I'm saying, teaching and lecturing, because they were basically concerned about his autism and how that might affect things and how he connects into the scene, into the evidence and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Unlike, you know what I'm saying, very uniquely, unlike the way other people might process a scene and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And they really wanted to illustrate that on the show, the way he processes it, the way he kind of envisions things and goes back. You know what I'm saying? It's like they really wanted to show the uniqueness of how his mind works and processes, and how it kind of basically ticks inside of there. And I just think that they kind of used that as a way to first kind of keep him out of the field and feel like he was a bit of a risk, or they were kind of worried. And then when he was being framed, they kind of used it as a way of, like, his affect, his mental state, his ego, it kind of played into this whole thing, and you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It just I think they, like I said, again, he was a victim of circumstance, and his autism was basically being made to make him look guilty in a way. Oddly enough, I just found that a bit. I found that.
I mean, you could almost take that as a kind of commentary on it in a way, though. That,
it's definitely,
you know, people don't understand exactly.
A hard look, definitely a hard look at how people look at someone with autism, of course. But it definitely offended me, though. It definitely did a great job because it offended me. I definitely felt the weight of that. I definitely felt the weight of how people felt about him simply because of the autism.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was a good representation as a character and as a person overall, I think that in the midst of the show, I think it really kind of took a hard look at how some people can use that against a person and make them seem dangerous, and make a person seem dangerous when they're not. Like, just because a person doesn't have the same affect as you or process certain things the same way as you doesn't make them dangerous, doesn't make them uncaring, doesn't make them unfeeling, doesn't make them like unempathetic to you, you know what I'm saying, to you or to people. You know, it's just like you can't go that far with that. You know, it's weird to go that far with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they almost want to equate it to someone being a psychopath or a sociopath. Like, you can't do that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's wrong. I think they shine the light to show that it's wrong to basically kind of make a person who has simply more of a mental condition than to basically equate them to being like almost a sociopath. It's just no.
Well, yeah, it's just, I mean, I get what you're saying. It did kind of feel like yeah, I know we're going back to this discussion about Hannibal and everything, but
No problem.
it did kind of feel like they were basically saying that there's a that people with autism have a high chance of going down that path of being sociopaths, and I'm like, no, that's
No,
not at all the case.
no, no. That
Yeah,
I would definitely not. I would definitely not toe that line. It definitely doesn't seem like that. It has that pathway to me. It's just about it. A lot of times with some people, it's just about affect. They don't have the same fucking. They don't process things the same way. They don't have the same affect. Does not mean that they don't feel things and they don't feel a certain way or that they're
yeah,
indifferent to certain things that people would feel. It's just that their affect is not going to be exactly the same way that you might expect. That's all.
yeah,
But you
exactly.
don't, yeah, but don't read too much into that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I
way
mean,
great. Yeah.
take me for example. Like there are things that I'm indifferent towards, but there are things that I can be emotional about. I mean, it's not like I don't feel emotion at all. I mean, yeah, it's just I mean, yeah. I mean, hell, take a look at how I treat my cat. I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, I love my cat. I would never hurt my cat. And I swear to God, if anybody ever hurt my cat, let's just say that I would be less than pleased.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't make Charles a sociopath. By the way, folks, we want to make
No.
sure we're clear on that. It doesn't make Charles a sociopath. So don't go towing that. Don't go trying to toe that line with him either.
No,
He's
no,
just saying
I'm not.
he's saying he
Yeah,
loves his cat. That's all.
yeah, I'm just saying I love my cat. I do.
Absolutely.
And to be
Absolutely.
honest, I've said it for years. I've always preferred the company of animals over people.
But I'm glad that we eventually earned our way to being the exception. Every
Oh
once in a
yeah, no,
while.
no, 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 no. I got no problem with you guys. I mean, no problem at all. But it's just like most people that I'm like that I like when I go out into society and everything, and I'm around like common strangers. I'm like, God damn it, do I need to be here? It's just like it's no. It's just I don't like large groups of people. I don't like the bigger the group of people, the more anxious I become.
So people, do not invite Charles to a festival. That's not his jam. Do not invite him to a festival, folks. Okay? No
I mean,
Burning Man. No,
well,
no.
I've never been to
Especially
Burning
not
Man.
Burning Man this year. Oof.
Why? What's going on at Burning Man this year?
Flooding. I think there's some kind of sickness going around. All sorts of shit this year.
Well, it
Oh
might be
yeah,
up your alley, Charles. It might be a lot less people out there.
probably. But no,
A
I've
lot
been to
more
a
bodies, but a lot
Renaissance.
less people. But okay,
I've
sorry.
been to
Go
a
ahead.
Renaissance fair, and when I go to a Renaissance fair, there's a lot of people there, and I mean, I have no issue there. But I mean, yeah, that's a lot of rhyming. But yeah, um, I mean, no, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I have no issue when I go to the movie theater, and there's a lot of people there.
See,
So
you're
yeah.
a lot like me, Charles. See, when I know that I'm gonna go someplace where there's a lot of people, and I'm willing, I'm going, and I'm prepped for it, and
Mhm.
my head's good for it. See, I'm not a person that likes like random crowd gathering.
Yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense, like the job
Well,
I used, like I'll give you a perfect example. The job I used to work, like we would have a meeting before we start the job. We had these tablets that we would use when we would do our job. And after we have the meeting, we have to go up to the admin window to get our tablets and start getting ready for the day. And there's like several of us that would be out on the floor, and everybody would start going up, and it's like we're not in a line. Everybody's kind of gathering up at the window trying to. And when that stuff starts happening, or when we bring food, we used to bring food to the break room, and we were all
Mhm.
eating and sharing the food, and everybody's like gathering. I'm like, okay, I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, I'll just wait till people have kind of gotten theirs, and I'll kind of get mine because all of that random crowding. I'm just like, okay, I've always been a personal space person, well before COVID or whatever.
Mhm.
I've always been a personal space person, and it's just like yeah. So I get
Yeah.
where you're coming from. So yeah, concert. If I know I'm going to a concert. I know I'm gonna have to be in the line with people and bumping people, and people are gonna be around. I get it. My head's prepped for it, and I work my way to maneuver around to where I'm not being so skeeved by the experience. But
Mhm.
yeah. But it's
I
like,
find even when I prep myself for something like that, it gets to me on some level.
yeah, it's weird, man.
Mm.
Lots of people. Like, it's kind of all weird that, well, it seems kind of ironic that we all seem to be able to, that we all host this show together. We all connect in this way and host this great show together. Huh? It's kind of ironic, don't you think?
Ironic how?
I'm just saying, like, we all
Like the
seem to,
Alanis Morissette song,
we all seem to have we all seem to have this weird crowd anxiety thing. Like we seem to be, you know what I'm saying, we seem to be sort of interconnected in that way, man.
Oh no,
you
no,
know?
no. When I do stuff like this, when I'm able to talk in front of a webcam and talk to you guys like this way, or talk to people on other chat apps that way, I have no issue communicating, none. But if it's in a face-to-face scenario and I'm like looking you in the, or if I try to look you in the eye, I won't be able to make eye contact. I would probably be tripping over my own words as well. It's just it is not pretty. It's not.
Sounds reminiscent of Porky Pig, but I don't want to go there, Charles. I'm just,
That's all, folks.
just saying. I don't want to go there. I didn't want to put that because it wasn't.
Oh no! I know you didn't want to go there. I went there.
But it wasn't because, I mean, it wasn't a weight thing. It was more of just your whole affect thing that you was. It kind of reminds me of that. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, but no, it's just no. It's just I've always been socially awkward in front of large groups of people or in front of people in general. It's just, I mean,
It's all good, sir. It takes time, and now you seem to be doing great. And
yeah,
now
I'm better at it now. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was a lot worse. But now I'm better at it.
and look how much money you saved on therapy, and you hanging out with a bunch of
Lunatics.
Every show is like it's like group therapy at the asylum.
basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess. Well, wow, we've given about an hour to like random warm up talk. That was pretty.
Yes,
that's
yes. Yeah, we basically spent all this time talking about, random stuff instead of talking about, Halloween.
No, it's fine because we did talk about some measures of it. I mean, we have talked about some measures of the actual recent movie itself. I think more, but actually to kind of pull the pin out of what you guys said before about the conversation about the sibling connection. I think it was more of a nod. It's 2018. It's more of a nod to like social media and youth and stuff like that now, how something like that, how something long standing like that can be just kind of dismissed and whisked away by, you know what I'm saying, just by, some young person just this is some bullshit they put out there because because they didn't want to face up to the fact they had a psycho in their midst. So it had to be some kind of crazy, deranged moment within her own family. That's why that happened. Not some psycho motherfucker in our town. It's within her own family. So it's just, and more people now, because they're so woke, they interconnect all of that. And it's like, yeah, so there you go. You know what I'm saying? Pfft. Just some bullshit they want to make up because they want to make somebody else look bad and make themselves look and put themselves out of the, out of the spotlight of the situation. So, so it's more of it was like I said, it's more of a nod to youth and social media and just, how quickly something can just be debunked.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so do we have anything else to discuss about Halloween, or do we want to move on to Fringe?
I would say that her daughter. I would say the daughter, Judy Greer. I usually like her in most things, going all the way back to.
I'll be back in a second.
Going all the way back to Jawbreaker. I've been aware of her presence going all the way back to Jawbreaker. I'm Violet. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. That movie, I don't know why I fucking loved a bitch Barbie movie like Jawbreaker, but it was fun. I guess because it was like the bitch Barbie movie back in the day. It was fucking fun, and it was just like these girls. It was just like But it was funny. But I mean, Judy Greer, just her whole indifference to her mother. Like, I don't know why they always like this whole thing of let's have a moment of not taking Michael Myers and the tragedy of Haddonfield seriously. Like we always have to have that moment. We always have to have that situation where, oh, okay, why is everybody so hyped up on this thing, or he's dead, or it's this, or it's that. It's always something that's like it's not as it's not as heavy as it actually is, and we just keep getting that, and I think that's kind of what the same situation runs down anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
I'm back. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying
yeah.
that but basically, it's just more of that. Just like I said, just more of that type. I don't know why they always have to do that whole. We're not taking it seriously until it has to be taken seriously type of situation. I just don't understand why that always has to be the thing. And like even with her own daughter, it's just like, oh, now you become crazy because it's this, it's that, and the third. Now I guess in some way it could be seen. Okay, he's locked up, he's not doing anything, but then they're transporting. So they're transporting him. And even the sheriff's looking at it, or the sheriff or whatever's looking at it and seeing like, okay, you look at all these minor people that's being transported, and then Michael Myers is being transported along with them. Like, what the hell is up with that? Like even
Well,
he had to say.
well, I mean, can I just bring something up real quick? It's just after, like, even though this movie is supposed to be a direct sequel to the original Halloween, I mean, come on. It's just even after ignoring all the previous movies, you still have to recognize that transporting Michael Myers, someone as dangerous as Michael Myers, is a bad idea. A very bad idea. Even if you don't want to execute him outright, you cannot move him at all. You need to keep him locked up in a cell permanently. You cannot move him. Because moving him is just asking for trouble.
I mean, to move him. I mean, look, if they're gonna put him in some place that's gonna be like for the worst of the worst, which is where they said he was going, I would just say move him individual. I mean, move him like I would say the way they were trying to move Boyd in the season finale of Justified City Primeval is the way they should have moved Michael Myers.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that if they had to move him. It's just, yeah. Just,
but see, what they were representing at the institute that he was in for all that time was more of a lightweight facility, more of a country club facility that
so in other words, a minimum security facility.
In a way, but
a person like Michael Myers should not have been in a minimum security facility from the beginning. He should have been in maximum security or even supermax from the beginning.
Yeah, but then when they felt like for some reason, like I said, that's why I asked the question at the beginning of the show: how far is too far? When you got a guy who hasn't spoken a word in all that time, why hold him for all that time? Because he's so interesting, you know what I'm saying? But he hasn't said anything, for all that time.
Really? I mean, it's just, yes, he killed 4 people, and yeah, he's a mute. He doesn't talk. How exactly is that interesting? He killed 4 people. And yes, some people, like some lawyers, even his defense attorney, might even consider him, might try to claim that he's unfit to stand trial. That's fine. But due to how, like, he would definitely be considered a flight risk. He would. So they would deny him bail. Absolutely. And they would still have to put him into a secure facility. They would have to, because he's probably known to escape. He already escaped his previous facility, which is what led him to killing those 4 people in the first place. So he's already known to be able to escape institutions. So, I mean, they would have to have some other way to be able to keep him secure. Putting him into a minimum security facility was a bad idea. a very bad idea.
Well, I mean, but that's the whole thing. Like, now again, I get the whole factor. That's why I told my daughter so many times when we watch movies together. Like, that's the thing that makes horror movies, though. You know,
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of idiots making bad decisions.
Yes, that's what makes horror movies. But sometimes, when you're trying to connect to a certain theme, as it were, I just think that it's just like you're just reach. I mean, it looks like more of a reach when you try to frame it the way it was framed up. And I apologize, by the way, if you guys are hearing.
I was gonna say, who's cutting down a tree?
Believe it or not, it's edging outside of my home. I'm, getting some landscaping done. I'm pretending to be a fancy boy. I have someone cutting my yard.
Oh, look at me! I pay Mexicans to do my fucking yard work. Whoa!
No. Mexicans park their several cars in front of my driveway and things like that. That's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They're not cutting my grass. They're inconveniencing my life right now, to be honest with you. I'm just saying. I want to be accurate about this, that's all. But,
my audio's not buzzing or anything, is it?
No.
Audio's not buzzing? Ah, good.
Not more than the buzzing that you're hearing right now, that you were hearing, but basically, I just feel like that when you take a whole bunch of the element out and then you make it seem like that he's been locked up for a couple of decades now. Nothing else has happened since he, like I said, of course, got out and went at Lori at that point. And then all of a sudden, we just got tired of researching him, and we're just gonna move him like he's regular. It just seemed like we're just reaching for something back to what we're trying to pull ourselves away from in the original series. And it's like, come on, find some other way to make this happen. When you take away everything, when you take away the Cult of Thorn, when you take that element away, it just doesn't make. It just seems like it just makes it seem like everyone's stupid. Everyone's stupid, and we want Michael Myers to kill us. Everyone's stupid. Like when I first saw this one, it's like the investigative journalist. By the way, as a guy who calls himself a journalist, to see those people say something, you can feel it, Michael, can't you? You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, as a journalist, that's how I feel about them guys calling themselves about both of them.
Miss Stone, we're doing a podcast. Talk to us. We're investigative journalists.
When I heard them say, I was like, "Oh, we're here doing a podcast," and then they said, "Oh, we're investigative journalists." I was like, "Really? Okay." It's just like I couldn't help but just sit there and laugh. I was going like, "Really? So which is it? Podcast, investigative journalism?"
I love that she was smart enough, though, to be like, no, don't say podcast, you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
she's going to be like, great. No, we're journalists. It's cool. You can talk to us.
Because, like, those people were fucking amateurs. It's just like, oh my god.
No. But no, see, I don't even have a problem with the podcast part. It's just somehow you got his fucking mask for what? You know, I mean, really, I mean, and all of this,
yeah, just to hold it up behind him. Look at it, you feel it, don't you?
All this hyperbole behind it and everything like that.
What are you gonna get from that?
I swear,
he's gonna turn around and go, "Oh, hello, okay, let's talk on your podcast."
That whole scene where he was just demanding Michael to look at the mask, it reminded me of the Wanda Sykes comedy special where she just like propped her leg up and said, "Look at it." It's just like that. It's a joke where she was talking about how like she wanted men to look at her vagina, and she was going like, "Look at it."
And that was our chocolate fantasy moment, brought to you by Charles Weeden. Thank you.
Hey! I'm not the one that initially said it. It was Wanda Sykes, and she's weird. Okay.
This is also a landmark moment. I don't think I've ever heard anyone quote Wanda Sykes joke before.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, I'm not even the biggest
especially a
fan of
guy,
her.
and especially about her vagina. Like, wow, really?
Look. I'm just saying what it reminded me of. Okay, and I saw that comedy special years ago.
You got to be the first guy in years, maybe a couple of decades, to remark about Wanda Sykes' vagina, Charles. I got to be honest with you.
God.
That thing's been gathering dust for years.
Oh no, it hasn't.
Sure
Oh no, it
has.
has not. Oh no, it has not, bruh. I mean, look, she like my man said, and say it isn't so. She's gave up. She's a long time ago. She gave up the sausage and became a vaginitarian.
Oh, okay. I did not know
You
that. But
vegetarian?
Oh no, I like the way he said it. Became a vaginitarian.
yeah, well, I mean, look, like I said, I'm not even the biggest fan of Wanda Sykes. I don't find her funny all that much. So
I always
But
liked her in
just-
Curb Your Enthusiasm because Larry always found a way to offend her somehow.
no. The only moment where I actually liked Wanda Sykes was in Clerks 2, where it was the scene where she got mad at Randall saying that certain word, and
Son, too. He
yeah,
was
yeah,
bringing
and
it back.
and she got mad, and he's like, and then her husband said like, I will, baby, you can't taste racism. I was like, oh my god, I fucking love that part.
It was such a brilliant sequence that you could absolutely not even attempt to do today.
Yeah, I know.
Like, not even, don't even try.
Yeah.
Just that whole sequence. Just,
I need to watch Clerks 2 again. That was a great movie.
your grandmother was a racist. She wasn't a racist. She used to call a broken bottle a. No, you know what? Maybe she was racist. You think? Oh, so good.
yeah. Oh man. Uh, I need to see where I can watch that movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Clerks
I want to say
2.
Prime, probably.
Yeah, probably.
As a guess.
I actually think it is showing up as the first result.
Did you see 3?
Yes, I have seen 3.
I liked
Clerks
it.
3. Clerks 3 was great. I loved it.
I thought it was a great end to the series.
It was, and it was also very sad.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But I think I don't think it could have ended any other way. I don't think it could.
No, I almost took a little issue with the very final scene. Felt like maybe that wasn't entirely necessary, but
Where him and Becky are sort of like walking off into the distance.
no, like I think it was the very final scene where where Randall's running the convenience store owned by
Jay and Silent Bob.
fucking name. Like Kevin's real life wife, Jen Schwalbach. I forget her character.
Oh,
name.
her. Yeah, where she pretty much buys the. No. I seem to remember that she buys the convenience shop, and then they end up buying it from her, so they end up winning.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that she initially was able to get the convenience store, but then they got it back from her.
That does sound right. I gotta watch that again.
Right. That's right, because Elias and his mute friend were doing something in crypto, and
Yeah,
they were trying to do something big. They struck it big in crypto, and they ended up winning, getting several $1 million, and they were able to use that money to be able to buy the convenience shop back from that woman.
And so what were they selling? They were selling
really pissed
something
about
very
it too.
specific that I can't remember.
I think it was like kites. because it
I
was
think
it
you're
was
right. I think it
subtly
was kites.
it was subtly racist because like somebody made a comment about it being subtly racist.
Yeah. I gotta watch
Yeah,
that again. I've only seen it the once,
yeah, I've
as
only seen it
compared to
once
the
as
other two
well.
that I've seen
Yeah,
countless times.
and the funny thing is that I've only ever seen Clerks 2 and 3. I've never seen the original.
You've never seen the original.
Nope, never seen it.
Ah, you gotta see the original.
Oh no, I know. I'm the only thing about the original that I'm familiar with is the number 37. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was really pissed off about this past Christmas Eve because this past Christmas Eve was my 37th birthday, and I was going to like want to do like this whole birthday extravaganza thing, and we were going to show a clip about from that scene from that movie, but my power went out and we weren't able to do it. So I was like, shit.
God damn it.
Yeah, well, I only turned 37 once, dude. So yeah, can't do it now. So I'm like, shit.
Figure out time travel just so we can get that moment done.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what's time travel gonna do? We're still gonna get hit with the winter storm, and I mean, the power's gonna go out. And
But there's always
yeah,
a chance. There's always a chance at a freaky Aunt Martha type.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And also, you're gonna end up pissing off the Time Fuhrer.
Say what?
The Time Fuhrer.
Well, you know, that's worth. That might be worth some freaky time with Aunt Martha. I'm gonna tell you. I'm telling you. Ah, cha 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 cha.
She's got bangs and she bangs. She's fucking. God bless her.
I'm telling you, I struggle to wonder why I haven't come up with a freaky Aunt Martha song as of yet. But
Wait, a freaky who?
a freaky Aunt Martha song.
Who the hell is Aunt Martha?
Duck?
Are you serious?
Oh, god damn it.
Dude. Now I'm back on the board, baby.
Like, look. It's been a long time since I've watched Dark. It's been a long time since I watched it.
So what?
I haven't thought about Martha in a long time.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
I think
Martha.
about her every night.
Freaky
You know what
Aunt
I'm
Martha
saying?
stays on the
Of course you
mind.
do.
She stays on the mind, pal.
Oh boy.
Woo wait. Ooh, doggy.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's freaky Aunt Martha incest, baby. That's the best.
I'm not gonna lie. The actress that played Martha just. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, say it. She gets the pheromones. She gets the pheromones in your nose, don't she? Doesn't she, Charles? You know it, man. You can smell it through the TV. You know you can. You know you can. Like, woo, she's fragrant. I can smell it through the TV. Sweaty Aunt Martha. You know what I'm saying? Oh, come on, man. Are you kidding me? You know it's real. Woo! I'm just saying. For all you hillbillies out there, I understand you a little bit. I understand how you feel. Thinking about freaky Aunt Martha there, boy. I'm like, I understand how you guys can go off a little bit. Woo wee! I'm telling you.
Oh, she's not only freaky, she's sweaty now.
Hey, come on, man. Look, you seen those scenes in the bedroom. There's no air conditioner in the
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah. You seen them. Shit, she was damn sure sweaty in one of them damn scenes. I'm damn sure telling you. We're either fresh out the damn shower, one or the other. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, she's attractive. Yeah, she's really attractive.
Oh yeah, come on. I'm glad you had that glimpse fresh in your head right now. So now you know why we so obsessed with freaky Aunt Martha. It's like, yeah, you get it now. Now you get it. Now you get it. It's nothing that girl could do. It's like shit. She blew past it. She ignored it every morning. Like freaky Aunt Martha, goddammit. You
Look. It only further
Take me to another world. I'll come with you if you.
Uh-oh, here we go. We might have to start counting those right now, Damian. How many times you get this guy choked up or something, man? I mean, what the hell? But okay, let me see. But I would say, but all of all this other conversation, which was great, but it was really kind of saying, like, I just really felt like Judy Greer. I mean, it's like there was a certain lack of strength with her when it came to the situation. I understand that she may have been indifferent to how her mother was feeling about the situation and her paranoia and her constant guarding, but it still, it seemed like it was coming from a place of strength, but it just really wasn't. And it's not her voice. And somebody, is her voice sound? But no, it's not really her voice that did it for me. It's just her tone, the way the way she speaks on it. I mean, it's like, I mean, you
Well,
you don't. I mean, to want her to move on is one thing, but to invalidate her trauma is another thing entirely. And I felt like it was getting to a point where she was invalidating her trauma a little bit though.
Oh,
there is
definitely.
there is the scene at the end of the movie where Judy Greer's character, Karen, I think is her name, and Allison, the daughter.
Ooh, ironic, don't you think, Karen? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I see what you did there. Where they're in the basement of the house,
Oh, yeah.
of the grandmother's house.
I know it will.
And Karen is holding up the rifle, and she's saying, "Mom, I can't do it, I can't do it." And then Michael is standing at the top of the stairs, and then she says, "Gotcha," and shoots him. Yeah, it's just at that moment, I actually kind of like that scene because that tricked me. That scene tricked me because I thought when she kept saying that she couldn't do it, I thought that was genuine. I did. I thought that she legitimately couldn't do it. And when she kind of changed demeanors on the fly, and she was like, "Oh, gotcha," and she shot him, I was like, "Whoa!" I was I was not expecting that. I wasn't.
I always knew Violet was attractive, but I mean, was talented as well as attractive, but talented. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. But it was just, for me, it was just like I said. You grow up being trained the way that she was trained before she was taken away.
Yeah.
It gives you a certain grit about the situation, and when you grow up and you come into your own. But I just felt like the way she was, it almost seemed like she hadn't been trained in that way. And I understand the trick that happened at the end, that kind of all of a sudden is supposed to turn everything around, but it kind of didn't for me. I get it. She played him very well, but but it was like, it still was a lack of strength for me, because you got to be strong enough to validate your mother's trauma and what she went through on that night all those years ago. I'm sorry. I get it. I get how you think she should move on and things like that. And like the one kid said, once again, going back to youth and social media and things like that, and research and the internet, by today's standards, what he did back at that point would be not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
I've
that
seen
type
worse on YouTube. Get over it, bitch.
is that type of mentality now. So it's just like, you know, she got to a point where she was, like I said, where she was invalidating her trauma, and in favor of her wanting her to move on, and it just felt a bit like unwelcoming. Who would feel welcome with that? Who would feel welcome to come around and try to still forge a relationship with that type of indifference? You know, a complete invalidation of what she went through, and then more people
That's
are
it.
validating it and making it so like making it like a symbiotic relationship between her and Michael Myers and shit like that, even suggesting that type of bullshit. It's just like, it's weird. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, if y'all gonna make it completely about a psycho that wasn't related to her, that that escaped from mental prison and went after her and everything like that. Like, what the fuck does she have to do with any of this? How all of a sudden now she's forged some sort of bond with Michael Myers because he tried to kill her for no fucking reason? You know, and couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
She was home that night, apparently.
It's just like, it's just, and because he couldn't get the job done, now you're thinking like, this is the whole thing you want to play into. You want to bring, or maybe that's the other theory. that they're trying to bring like Michael Myers is like sort of like the flag carrier for for the super psychopath that we know about. Like not and when I say these names, I don't mean in their deeds, because I know so many people are cannibals and things like that. But what I'm saying is they want to bring those people into that Michael Myers status. This fucking extreme psycho that even after all that time and getting out, like he is still after this one girl because it's just so obsessed him to get this, to get this damn girl and shit like that. It brings a level of just that type of, they want to make this blank face killer whose face we've hardly ever really fucking seen, and this representation of like that type of obsessed, maniacal, sociopathic, psycho killer. That type of thing, which I think is bullshit. Still, it really is.
Yeah.
And did you notice who Allison's boyfriend was? From something we've done, well, semi-recently.
I didn't recognize him, no.
That was fucking. That was fucking. That was the son of the dude that lost his mother, right? And fucking you.
Yes. I think his name was Theo.
Okay, Theo, because Trip was her brother. Right? I'm getting it right.
That explains why I didn't recognize him, because I have not watched you.
Oh, that's right. You hold on, wait a minute. You weren't doing that with us, right? You weren't doing a review of that.
I watched the first 3 episodes of the first season, and then I stopped after that.
Okay, yeah. It was coming to me. It was like, okay, yeah. I thought okay, yeah.
Yeah. I stopped watching after what happened. I can't remember his name, the main character's name, but like he finally got his chance to sleep with the main girl, and then when they were having their intimate moment, he kind of
Joe. Joe. Or the last time we left him, his name. Well, he was back to being Joe. Yeah, he was done assuming identities at that point. He was back to being Joe and back to being in the power elite once again, which he
because he was Professor something for a while. I forget what he called himself.
Well, I don't know. It's just that show was weird.
Of course, like I said before, going from a perspective of the crazy person, and having them give the narrative is, it's a bit weird because most people don't put themselves in that place. So it's a bit weird, but I think there were layers to it. I think as I gave it a shot, there were layers to it, and I found out that it definitely had some legs to it. I grew to enjoy it, but there was always going to be some critiques of it. Definitely going to be some critiques.
Some very good discussions about that show, and it's, for the most part, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. Like, when I first saw the trailer for the show, I was like, yeah, this seems like something I could like, liking things like Dexter and American Psycho and stuff like that. But, yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed that show a lot more than I expected.
But again, Dexter for me is a bit more, it's more substantial, because, like, there's things that were laid out that was like a history that laid the groundwork for who Dexter became and everything like that.
Yeah.
And though it's a weird thing, and though he's dangerous, it's still like you root for him because he truly is doing what's like justice in a way. He's doing it very ugly. He's doing it very brutally, but he's doing something that's right. He's going after other serial killers.
Ultimately, he's killing people who, like, sick fucks who got away with awful shit. And he always makes sure to check that out for, like, he makes sure that it's a fact that who he's killing.
And it's the justice
what he thinks they've done.
And it's a double justice that he's seeking to basically sort of like separate himself from his history. From his own family history and everything like that. So it was a lot to what that was. You know what I'm saying? It was, a lot of times with something like that, with stuff like this, you don't have a lot of layers to this type of stuff, but you gave a lot of layers to it. You know, it started to give some layers to him and what made him what he was and what he became and everything like that. And to see how he sort of rounded out.
Actually, Joe is the sort of guy that Dexter would have gone after.
I could agree with that. I could agree with
And I would actually kind of like to see that crossover, except, I don't know if you saw the last season of Dexter, but they really kind of shit the bed with that.
Oh, so with the new Dexter show that they did, they ruined that ending too.
Yep.
It's hard to hard to do.
It was mostly pretty good, but then got to the ending and just like the previous show.
So they ruined the ending of the main show, and then they ruined the ending of the renewal, and so
you know what the
sure
problem.
did.
You know what the problem is. I think that when you start, I think it starts at the beginning. When you do it, when you have a show idea like this, and you start to craft it, I think you have to understand the uniqueness of a show like Dexter, the uniqueness of a show like You, the uniqueness. You have to understand the uniqueness of it, of a show like Hannibal, and you want to end it. It's you can't do a typical ending. You can't do, the ending can't be typical because the content that is surrounded around it was never typical. So you can't do a typical ending.
I will say the ending of this Dexter New Blood, it wasn't so much the very final ending that I had an issue with. It was more how it was done, I guess. But at least like last time I read the books, I think I got up to 4, maybe 5. They started to go supernatural with that, so at least they stayed grounded with the TV series. Go kind of weird like the books did.
Look, real quick, speaking of supernatural shit, I wanted to ask you guys about something. See what you guys thought. Because I know I might have mentioned this before, but I wanted to see if you guys had heard about it before or checked into it anymore, if you only heard it from me before. Record of Ragnarok.
Oh, that's the the battle royale with gods, right? Well, not battle royale, but like the gods fighting each other.
Super battle tournament. Gods versus some of the greatest warrior mortals of all time. Like,
wait, what's it called again?
Record of Ragnarok.
Record of Ragnarok.
We talked about this back when it was the other show, and I was definitely in for it. We just didn't get to it.
I think I can probably guess why, but anyway.
Wait, isn't that the manga and the anime where it has the humans versus the gods?
Yes, but it's not so much the humans, but it's like some of the greatest warrior mortals of like all time. So like they really pull out of the record books of historical record books for certain warriors that were reveled and documented over time, like Lu Bu. Like Lu Bu was supposed to be like an incredibly strong Chinese, warrior and leader that was supposed to be like incredibly fucking strong, incredibly unfucking beatable. That was supposed to be like a sumo wrestler that was like the greatest of all time. That was like recorded in history as like the greatest, you know what I'm saying? The absolute greatest and strongest sumo wrestler there ever was. Now, if I could give you a bit of a preface of how this, about like the weirdness and like the uniqueness of this show, they had a match, they had a fight. Hercules versus Jack the Ripper.
That's an interesting matchup.
Wait, Hercules versus Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
I'm going to go on a limb and say Jack the Ripper comes out on top.
Why would you say that?
Just because Jack the Ripper understands human anatomy and he has a precision with a knife or a scalpel. So he would be able to know where to cut specifically to disable Hercules before Hercules gets the drop on Jack the Ripper. So I think Hercules would use brute force while Jack the Ripper would use precision.
This is why this guy is this guy.
Yeah.
See, you know what? If you want another representation, another positive representation of autism, in this world of creative content, here you go, right here, folks. To Charles Weeden, question mark. But this best representation that the one of the best representations I can think of in the last several years. Be honest with you, I mean, like, quite astute of you, because that was. But by the way, I want to make sure that I let you know that. Long story short, to kind of give you the overview of what this is about. Once again, every religion that everyone has ever believed in, they all know each other. They're like some big, gigantic committee up in the sky or whatever. And they decide how long to let the earth last and
the
survive.
Super Best Friends from South Park.
Say again?
Yeah,
Super
including the most famous one of all, Sea-Man.
But they were, like I said, they're not so much friends.
They always say
it's more like-
seamen swimming with the dolphins. It's Sea-Man.
They're more like politicians. They're more like politicians than friends. It's like everyone you could think of, like even Loki. Even Loki is a part of this God committee. Odin, fucking Shiva.
What
Even
about the
Bo-
one who must not be named? Or specifically displayed?
Oh, you're talking about the one that starts with the letter M.
That's the one.
And the starting pronunciation is Moo Ha. I can't say it, otherwise someone's gonna show up at my house and kill me.
Yeah, I don't want to get bombed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Come on,
god!
Stone, figure it out.
Oh my god! Oh
Who was in the Super Best Friends in South Park back in I think it was the early 2000s. Then they had an episode with him in the later 2000s. Got censored to shit by Comedy Central because they didn't want to get bombed.
Yeah.
They were okay. We're talking about
May have been a
warriors.
publicity stunt. Still not quite sure, but
We're talking
I
about
think
great war.
the
We're talking
former.
about great warriors here of all different ilks. Not so much no, we're not gonna go there. Okay, we're just not gonna go there. Okay. Okay. Fucking suicide bombers. Okay, anyway, all right.
we all know what we mean.
Yeah, we all understand. We all know.
I'm sorry. In a fight, you can only use that weapon once. Okay, you got to hope it's accurate. But anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, okay. Anyway. Okay, you finally got that one, oh, Charles. I'm sorry. Okay.
No. I got it from the beginning. I knew what you meant.
Okay. Okay, look. So basically, they had like Odin, fucking Ares, god of war, Loki, fucking Shiva, god, god of destruction, and they even had Aphrodite up in there. She's not a warrior so much, but she's kind of there's that, female representation.
She's more a nymphomaniac than anything.
Well, it tracks because when she's not dressed, when she's more relaxed, she has these attendants that hold her breast for her when she's not when she's not dressed and more relaxed. Yeah, it's like they're just kind of sitting there, not like another cop in the field. It's like that's the thing. She wants her breast.
So she literally has assistants that hold up her breasts for her.
Yes.
I gotta make a call. Hold my tits.
No, it's like no, she's undressed and relaxed now, like they're gonna be her bras now. They hold my breast. It's
It's a pretty good job. I'd take that job.
I'm sure you would.
There's also Zeus.
What,
Zeus
you wouldn't? Fuck you.
But even though there's Odin and there's Thor, but there's Zeus, and Zeus is the main. It's still like the main guy. Like regardless, like Zeus is still seen as like the number one god of all gods, I guess. So
Yeah.
And even though he looks
He's
like
got the lightning.
even though he looks like old boy from fucking Dragon Ball Z, you know, the old man, the old bald man with the you know what I'm saying, with the shades
Master
and whatnot.
Roshi.
Yes,
Yeah, Master Roshi. Oh my God.
yes,
So
Who is-
Zeus looks like Master Roshi. Wow.
with no shades.
So you're saying Zeus may or may not be a statutory rapist?
Well, that tracks
Master
too.
Roshi is a very questionable character.
That tracks
Yes, he
too.
is.
That tracks too. Yeah, he's a little bit of a horn dog too, so that tracks too.
Well, I mean, in actual Greek mythology, Zeus would come down to Earth and, you know, bed various women, and, you know, they would get pregnant with his offspring, and they would give birth to various different demigods. So, I mean, it tracks.
But they changed the story up. They changed the story up when it came to Hercules and on this show though. They changed that storyline up. They didn't make it about him being his mother being impregnated by Hercules and his wife being like completely pissed off about it. They made it about him drinking the ambrosia and basically it was able to handle, you know what I'm saying, the ambrosia, which is essentially the blood of Zeus, and was able to be, and he was promoted, you know what I'm saying, to be a god after he went toe to toe with Ares, and you know what I'm saying, it was not put down. So he was made into a god at that point.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, after he took down the other vanguard, you know what I'm saying, that was behind Ares, and then they went toe to toe and basically had a stalemate. That's when he kind of came in, stopped it, and basically promoted, you know what I'm saying, promoted basically Hercules to being a god, pretty much.
Well, I still say that Jack the Ripper would definitely overpower Hercules.
And I would say you're very astute because it was that way because the other part of the human battle, because even though those mortal warriors were great warriors, some of the greatest of all time, they were still mortals, and you know, and going up against a god and their weapons, you know, they're still gonna have a hard time. So there were Valkyries. That's who basically set up this whole battle in the first place, because the guys had already decided that they were going to go ahead and destroy the Earth and everything like that. And that's when the Valkyries came up and decided, hey, there's a rule book that says you have to give them a chance in battle, in a tournament battle, before you know what I'm saying, before you destroy the Earth and everything like that. So that's when they started setting up and started recruiting some of the greatest mortal warriors, you know what I'm saying, in history and everything like that. And they used themselves to basically make weapons for these warriors that were going to fight these guys, so they can basically, at least with their skills and then them as basically their mortal, you know what I'm saying, their godly weapons, they can basically have more of a chance against the gods and everything like that. You had Thor at one point that his hammer looks like a goddamn refrigerator. Like at one point during his fight, he takes off his gloves. He takes off these gloves. Like he's getting serious. He's really going to start attacking now. He takes off these gloves. He drops one glove. He put, you know what I'm saying, it makes a crater that you would see on the moon.
So he just takes off the glove and drops it.
The gloves. He's taking the glove off, and it looked like regular. Just I'm taking these gloves. It looked like this regular gloves, and he dropped. And the thing don't drop. It doesn't drop heavy. It drops like they're gloves. But when they drop, it makes a crater
All of a sudden,
like you would see.
fucking...
It makes a crater like you would see on the fucking moon. And his hammer looks like a fucking refrigerator.
I need to see this anime.
Yeah.
All right, is it English dubbed or is it only in Japanese?
No, it's English.
It's English? Okay.
Because it was on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix still.
Is the show complete or is it still going?
I don't know. It only had 2 seasons, and it was killer. And I'm not sure what's happening now, but
they were pretty short seasons, if I remember right. Weren't they like 6 episodes or something each?
Because it's like when you're talking about battles between God, you know what I'm saying, with gods and some of the greatest mortal warriors, it's like they don't just do a fight and in one show it's over. It's an epic fight. It's gonna be at least 2 episodes and it's like 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Without about 24 without commercials and things like that. So it's like you're not gonna get 24 because like me. Interesting enough, let me tell you how interesting this is. A little bit. I'll give you another matchup: Zeus versus Adam. And yes, I'm talking about the Adam and Eve Adam.
The Adam. Not Adam Levine. 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 Oh, that's
And you might think just because he was the first human made or whatever, the first mortal made, what kind of power would he have? See, Adam was made and it was made in God's image. So he could mirror, you know what I'm saying, God, he could mirror God power. That was his power. Like he could be a reflection of, you know what I'm saying, of the gods. When he took on Zeus.
So he's kind of like Bruce Almighty.
I would probably say like he was sort of like Rick. He was sort of like Rick in a way. It's like, you know, there's no moves you can do that I can't see you doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've taken a sample of what you've done and now I'm able to fucking mimic it without problems. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but it's just a thing of he's still not a god, and that whole thing plays out. But very interesting. Poseidon is also in this. Poseidon is like a fucking like feared god. You know what I'm saying? Out there. Like he doesn't like the fucking cheers. If people that cheering, he looked at them. People fucking the whole fucking stadium muted. You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking crazy. Like they were fucking like intimidated.
I will say all this kind of makes me want to replay the God of War games.
Well, I mean, I
get to kill Zeus, Hercules, Poseidon. All these
I never played the earlier God of War games, but I did play the newer ones, 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, and loved both.
I still haven't played Ragnarok yet.
Ragnarok was amazing, and I would love to play it again, but I am waiting until it comes to PC.
Yeah, I'd recommend the original trilogy, but for some reason only 3 has been released on newer stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah, get to kill pretty much any Greek god that's ever existed in a brutal fashion.
But again, Charles, I gotta say, man, you were very astute in your battle assessment between those two because it was definitely that was definitely his strategy. And
I'm picturing Hercules holding Jack the Ripper up, about to pop his head like a pimple, and Jack the Ripper just fucking guts him in like a second.
See, that's the thing, because Zeus is a god, and certain mortal weapons can't. But see, it's like I don't want to ruin it for you because you guys seem interested in watching it, and I don't want to ruin.
Yeah, I've been interested for months.
I don't want to ruin what gets revealed, but I could definitely tell you that at a certain point in time during the battle, he does end up cutting off Hercules' arm in the battle. Which everybody was shocked by that. Everybody was like in disbelief that he was able to.
Yeah, but the way you saying that he cuts off his arm leads me to believe that even though he does get the upper hand at one point, he does end up losing the fight. Jack the Ripper does.
I don't want to ruin anything for you. See that's how I love to do. I don't want to ruin anything for you. I can tell you how it shakes out if you're really interested. But
I looked into it, and apparently the show has not been canceled. It's just the second season is over, and season 3 has yet to be confirmed. So more than likely, the estimate is that season 3 will probably air sometime next year. 2024, if it gets renewed.
Is it a Netflix original or?
I don't know.
Which it should.
Because if it is, that like if they cancel shit, they cancel it pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they really should keep going because it is fucking interesting. It is interesting with it because see, Hercules is not just see, most times they're really doing a lot with this. Because like on one side, Hercules is not just, you know, a big strong half god with a sword. He's got, because he went through those 12 trials and everything like that. So now he's got this weapon that can evolve in a way. And it's this whole thing about these tattoos that Hercules has and everything like that. That's sort of like a cost of the abilities and the powers that he has because of those trials and everything like that. And then they also on Jack the Ripper's side, they actually try to give some backstory on Jack the Ripper as best they could, because no one really knows who the fuck Jack the Ripper is.
No,
You know,
still
so
haven't figured that one out.
yeah, so they tried to give some backstory.
Probably
on
never
that.
will.
Like they even had a version, an animated version of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in this, in this show during the battle between Hercules and Jack the Ripper. They actually had him out there in the audience. They also had Shakespeare, because it was believed that Jack the Ripper, I guess it's being theorized by the writers or by the creators of this show that Jack the Ripper was in Shakespeare somehow. Somehow they surmised that. And they also surmised this very, very supernatural theory in their mind that Jack the Ripper had this red eye that allowed him to see aura colors on people and things like that, and feels like a person's aura color is most beautiful when they're dying and shit like that.
That's some creepy shit.
See, exactly. So they were really trying to give something to Jack the Ripper to really make you feel like, whoa, what the fuck? Like they were really trying to give you something. Like they couldn't give you much, and they tried to put a little bit of that into, like, he may have had the mother, like he may have loved his mother, intensely. Didn't know his father. His mother was a prostitute, and they just kind of played out the story of what turned him into Jack the Ripper and everything like that, and kind of added these other little, creepy elements to him and everything like that. It's something special, man. They really need to keep this shit going. Honestly, they really do.
I mean, if it hasn't, if Netflix show and it hasn't been canceled yet, very good chance it's coming back.
Yeah, they really ought to, because the way they made Buddha look, I never would have thought that Buddha would look the way they made Buddha look on this show.
Was he anorexic?
No, he's fucking ripped, for one. He's fucking ripped, muscular. He's got fucking long flowing hair.
That's basically the same difference, really.
He's got long flowing hair. He wears these little glasses. He seems very fucking like badass metrosexual.
All right, if I've ever heard one.
Huh?
Every time I hear that, every time I hear that word, it makes me think of that episode of South Park.
Which
What
one?
episode was that?
It was the episode where everybody in South Park was like going metrosexual, and they were basically like acting gay, but they weren't actually gay.
Yep.
And it was really confusing, Mr. Garrison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes.
Is that you, Stone?
What? What?
That notifications thing that just did.
No.
Am I the only one who heard that?
I didn't hear a notification ping.
I didn't do that though. That wasn't me. I don't think it was me.
It was like an automated voice, like your notifications or something.
No, that wasn't me. I don't think.
Yeah, that wasn't me either.
Wow. Oh, bro. I think you got a ghost in the machine.
I don't think this tablet is new enough to have such a feature. I don't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, ignore that.
Okay, well, ignore it for now in case it happens again. But yeah, it's just I don't equate metrosexual to, of course, to being gay. It's just more like he's just really like, I don't know, man. I expected Buddha to be more robes, and he's more like the guy who's indifferent to all the other gods. It's like, man, oh my god, you guys are so lame. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's kind of like how he is. You know what I'm saying? But they're all shook by him because he can kick pretty much all their asses. You know what I'm saying? Probably except for Zeus, but maybe even still him. You know what I'm saying? If they really went at it. But yeah, it's like he kind of comes around like, oh my god, you guys are so lame. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's kind of like his attitude is with him like, every time. You know, he's like he's out. You know what I'm saying? He's out in the field somewhere, just chilling out eating. You know what I'm saying? Like just chilling. They're always in the committee talking a bunch of bullshit, and he's out somewhere just kind of chilling out eating something. You know what I'm saying? And always coming like, well, why don't you ever? You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like his whole fucking thing. You know. Yeah, that's Buddha Black.
It's gotta be crushing on some level to have Buddha call you lame. It's like, God damn, I thought that guy was all about like balance and zen and shit. It's I'm fucking lame. It sucks.
Like, hey, you know karate?
Fucking suck.
It's like, hey, Buddha, you know karate? Yes, I do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's say, fine.
Okay, where exactly did you hear Buddha call somebody lame?
Record of Ragnarok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's where you heard it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I really gotta watch this show now.
You really do. I'm telling you, I hardly ever.
How many episodes are there per season? Like 12?
I wouldn't say that. Would you?
Well,
I'm fairly sure you told me it was like 6 each season or something like. I
think
could have
something
sworn
like
you told
that.
me it was quite
Yeah.
short, so we could probably do the whole thing in 1 week.
Probably, because I mean, it's only about 24 minutes a clip.
Should we do that as like the bridge between Fringe and whatever we do next?
Sure, I'd be open to that, but no, it's just because I mean I want to see Buddha call somebody lame, because that if I ever saw Buddha call somebody lame, my life would be complete. I could die happy. I'd be like, it'd be like that scene from The Simpsons where Bart is sitting at his school desk and he's just sitting there and everybody's looking at him saying, "Say the word, Bart," and he's like, he just says the word and then everybody goes, ah.
I'm telling you, like I said, I do believe, because I'm trying to tell you, if you don't hear the word, you definitely get the feel and his overall and different attitude to all the other guys.
Lame is a vibe.
It's just the way because he definitely says things to them. Like I said, I feel like the word lame was used, you know what I'm saying, with him, but it's like,
well, even if the word lame is implied, I think that'll be enough.
if nothing else, you definitely get a definite vibe that he doesn't think much of the other gods at all. You know what I'm saying? At all.
They're just talking about whatever they're talking about. He just says boo and just keeps shoveling rice into his mouth.
And ain't even boo. It's like where is he? It's like we got to go over to some field somewhere where he just kind of sitting out there chilling, watching the suns. You know what I'm saying? Watching the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Eating. You know what I'm saying? Eating
grazing
fruit. You know
like
what I'm saying?
cow.
Yeah, just kind of sitting back under the tree, eating fruit, just kind of chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever.
Wait a minute.
You don't get a body like that eating fruit.
I'm looking at clips of Record of Ragnarok on YouTube, and apparently Buddha has hair.
Yes, like I told you,
He's got hair and he's ripped. Apparently, it's
long flowing hair. He's ripped. He's got these little trendy little shades that he wears and everything like that. He's just like he's fucking too cool for you know what I'm saying, for the God Committee. You know, that's kind of where he is. You know, Odin.
Fuck?
Odin is weird. You know what I'm saying? Odin is weird. He's got these two birds on his shoulder that talk to him and shit like that. He's just like a lot of these guys are weird. Loki is just Loki. Like you can't help it.
Loki's always just Loki.
Yeah, whether animated or whatever, Loki is always going to be Loki, and it's just like Loki's about what you expect Loki to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just everything, all his little mannerisms, his little, you know what I'm saying, his never taking anything seriously. All this shit is fun to him. You know what I'm saying? Every single bit of it. You know what I'm saying? It's all funny.
He's responsible for one of my favorite episodes of Supernatural. Charles, do you remember the mystery something? God damn it, the one where Dean kept dying.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, that was called shit. I can't remember the name of the episode.
As far as mystery something. It's been a while, but
no.
Dean just kept dying like Groundhog Day.
It's the episode where where Tuesday pretty much repeats over and over again, and
Yeah,
it yeah I remember the episode. Yeah.
Dean gets crushed by a piano. My favorite one is, "This burrito tastes funny to you," and then it cuts to next day.
My favorite one is actually the part where he's in the shower and he says, "What? We can't even go out for breakfast." And then Sam says, "You'll thank me when it's Wednesday." And Dean's like, "Whatever that means." And then the next thing we hear is him slipping in the shower. And then heat of the moment.
It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling you guys, man. I'm just telling you, like I said, very, very. I definitely highly recommend it. I don't think you guys would be disappointed by this show at all. Definitely
I'd
do
be
not.
amazed. Like, unless you're terrible at describing things, I'd be amazed if I'm disappointed by this show.
Nope. I'm pretty good at describing things. I kind of, without a lot of ego, I'm pretty good at describing things. One second, fellas. I'm sorry. Talk amongst
Oh,
yourselves
okay.
real quickly.
Yeah. The name of the episode is called Mystery Spot.
Mystery Spot. Ah, I was thinking Mystery Shop, but I was like, that doesn't sound right, but it seems close. Mystery Spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest episodes of that show.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god! Now I want to
Groundhog's
watch
Day.
Now I want to watch Supernatural again. God damn it!
I
But
think I
no,
mentioned to you before. I've been thinking about just going through the first 5 seasons again.
yeah. Now
Just watch an episode here and there.
there was another funny episode that happened in the later seasons where Dean has to learn how to communicate with animals. He has to drink a potion that allows him to communicate with a dog, and he inadvertently learns to be able to communicate with all animals. And he ends up getting into an argument with a pigeon. And
That sounds kind of familiar.
yeah,
How
yeah,
late in
yeah.
the show was it?
I believe it's season 9, I think. I think it's
Okay, so yeah, I
I
definitely
think
was still watching at that point.
yeah, I think it's season 9, but yeah, there's a they're walking up to the Impala, and Dean is walking the dog that he's able to communicate with, and he at this point he doesn't know that he can communicate with all animals yet. And he walks up to his car, and the pigeon shits on the Impala. And as you know, Dean doesn't like it when someone fucks with his car. And so he looks up at the pigeon and he says, "Dick move, pigeon." And the pigeon just says, "Screw you, asshat." And then Dean's like shocked, and it's like he looks at the dog and says, "Wait, can I hear all animals?" And the dog says, "Yep. Animals have a universal language like Esperanza. Only this animal probably like caught on." And then the pigeon just starts mouthing off to him. And then Dean just says like, "Oh, shut it, you winged rat." And then people behind him start looking at him like he's a crazy person. And
No,
then of course Dean says like, "Oh, the pigeon's being a douchebag." It's like, who are you calling douchebag, douchebag? And
just a little connecting sidebar here.
yeah,
Um, I think the best talking animals that I think I ever seen was in this movie Rapture Palooza. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
never seen it.
I've heard of it, never seen it though.
Yeah, but and then of course they go back and forth in this argument, and then Sam tells Dean to just stop it and get back in the car, and then the pigeon decides, "Oh, that's right, go cry to mama." And then Dean says, "Oh, that's it, you son of a bitch," and pulls out his gun and tries to shoot the pigeon. Sam grabs Dean, tries to get him to put the gun away, and then they get in the car and then they just drive off. Like, what the hell? It's really freaking funny. That episode was great because
So
there's
that's one
also
thing
a
they
scene.
like. Before I stopped watching, that's one thing they seem to stop doing those fun episodes.
Yeah, they are.
They seem to
They
just
do
drop
start to
them
decrease.
completely.
Yeah, they do start to decrease. One of my favorite funny episodes, however, is actually not Mystery Spot. It's an episode before that. It's Tall Tales, because it's the episode where the guy talks about how he got probed by the alien, and the alien then he probed me. He probed me again and again and again and again and again and again and then one more time. And then we slow danced. And then it did a flashback of him dancing with the alien, and the alien like hugged him, and they were playing the song Lady in Red. Oh man, it was
When that
really
show
fun.
was good, it was really good.
Yeah, but no, that was the episode where they introduced the trickster character. That was the episode where they introduced him. So yeah.
We didn't find out it was actually Loki until years later.
Oh yeah, until years later. Yeah.
And so, I guess it is time
To discuss.
Before we finish Halloween, and I go to take a quick piss, Laurie Strode at the end of the movie. She's been gearing up for this fight for 40 years. Makes some really fucking dumb choices.
Yes, she does.
She's got this whole barricaded door and shit, but she stands right with this, unprotected glass, and then just gets her fucking head pummeled because he smashes through the glass. It's like, really? You didn't, that was your, okay, he's at the door. I'll stand at the door so he can break the glass and fucking pummel me.
Yeah, see, I was wondering about that as well. I was actually kind of wondering, why didn't you get, reinforced glass? Or, I don't know.
Put some bars over it or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you're supposed to have this entire house fortified and turned into a trap that is supposed to, I don't know, trap Michael Myers.
But in order for a trap to work, you have to bait the situation. So maybe that's the bait.
But
that he actually has a chance of getting her and getting out of there.
Another thing that kind of bugged me was she goes after getting her head pummeled against the door, she goes back into the basement and changes her shotgun for a repeater. Which, if you're in that kind of close range where you're going through a house, wouldn't a shotgun be best?
Yeah, because shotguns
to me, a repeater is more of a ranged weapon.
Yeah, shotguns are supposed to be close to mid-range.
Yeah, you would want something with the most stopping power. You turn a corner, he's there. You fucking make his head explode.
And you know what? And once again, I think it's sort of an ironic kind of day, don't you think? I can't believe you used the word once again, repeater.
Also, I thought it was called a bolt-action rifle.
No, what she had was a repeater. The bolt action was what Judy Greer had.
Oh, okay.
So we got
is it called something else than a repeater? I've just always known it as a repeater.
So now we have both contents where we have a repeater, and then in both of the contents.
I see what you did, you motherfucker. you fucking piece of shit. I'm so outraged. I will be back.
That's right, folks. Now we know, folks. Repeater is a gun, is a firearm, but also repeater is the actual Peter Bishop from the other universe on Fringe. Is my special name for that Peter, Repeater.
Oh, God damn it. I knew you were going to bring that up again.
No. Damian brought it up. Damian was the one who said repeater.
No. Fennel, stop it. Oh, my God. My cat is attacking my mouse. All right. God damn it. Come here, cat.
What? You have a mouse? Oh, no. You mean your computer mouse? I'm sorry. I'm like, why do you have a mouse?
Did you seriously think I was talking about an actual rodent?
I'm sorry.
Fennel,
sorry.
Get off my damn chair, buddy. Come here. Hey, don't you meow at me. Don't you meow at me. There, go on. Get on the bed. All right, there you go.
I'm like, of course he would attack that mouse. Why do you have a mouse? Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's literally called a mouse because it's like a little device with a tail. It's a mouse.
And that's why I love you. And
the
that's why
ones
I
that
love
are
you,
wi-
Charles.
And the ones that are wireless, we call a hamster.
Really?
I've heard people call them hamsters.
Oh my god. But I don't know, man. That's about all I can say. I just think if you're gonna do the basement should have definitely been a little bit more reinforced.
Yeah. I
So
agree
so
with
when
that.
you lit it up, there couldn't be any weak spots for him to for him to get out of.
Well, we know that he gets out not on his own. He gets out because of the firefighters in the second movie.
Yeah, that's fucking right.
Yeah. And the firefighters realize who he is, so they try to fight him. And of course, Michael Myers being who he is, he manages to overpower them. So, yeah.
Oh god, yes.
And that's not a spoiler because that was shown in the trailer.
No, it's no problem. It's yeah, it's sorry. It's basically it's the theme. It's the tone that's set anyways. It's the John Woo. It's Halloween John Woo version. This is what you're gonna fucking see. This is what we're gonna review next week. We're gonna review Halloween John Woo version. Or Halloween Kills, aka Halloween Kills, or aka John Woo's Halloween. That's what I'll start calling, huh?
Are there doves and a double gun shootout?
No, but there is a mean fight scene. You know what I'm saying? with Michael Myers. I mean, he comes. I mean, it's reminiscent of your best Chow Yun Fat movie. I swear to God. You know what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, you won't. I thought you think you would be intrigued, but you just end up being disappointed and really kind of skeeved at the whole experience again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like random unexpected crowd kind of skeeved. It's just like I didn't want this. I didn't expect this, and it's not going great. And it's just like that. That's how I felt about
Nice
that whole.
callback.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's a pretty accurate parallel to what that feels for me. Is what seeing when I think about it right now. This is how I feel like is I didn't want this. You kind of sprung it on me, and it's not really going all that well. It looks kind of stupid. Like you really shouldn't have done this. Like no, I'm kind of skeeved now. I want to move away from this movie now. Just like thanks.
All right.
So. But Fringe it is, guys. I guess Fringe it is, huh?
Okay, well, you guys talk about Fringe for a minute. I got to go take care of something for a couple of minutes. I will be right back.
Drain the main vein in Spain on the plane.
No.
Oh no.
No, but it's only going to take a couple of minutes. I will be right back.
Too easy.
But that's my kind of poetry.
Right.
He's gonna drain the main vein in Spain on a plane in the rain. With no one
The
to
fucking
complain.
poet. You didn't even know it.
Oh no, I always knew I was a poet, but I'm just an asshole. I didn't always know that. I didn't always know that. I didn't always know I was an asshole.
I would say 90% of the time, poets are assholes.
No.
It's just fuckbags.
I didn't always know that. But speaking of which, the overall theme, the question that I asked at the beginning of the show, how far is too far when it comes to research, science, discovery? How far is too far? Did the taking of Peter from the other universe, or I affectionately call Repeater, the taking of Repeater, Oh God, I love it. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't believe they didn't think of it. I mean, with Walternate and Folivia, you mean to tell me
Alternate Folivia.
you didn't think of Repeater? You didn't think of Repeater? Oh my God.
And what would you call something we'll talk about a bit later. Bolivia, I guess. Bolivia.
Oh, wait, no. Well, Olivia was Folivia, right?
Yeah, but I mean the third Olivia that we see later in the season. Would you say Bolivia? Bolivia?
What? Whoa. Okay. Okay. So you consider that Olivia different?
Well, I mean, it's not Olivia anymore.
What do you mean because? What do you mean because of William or
Yeah,
because of William?
I mean he's possessing her body.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Okay. I thought you meant the 2026 situation.
No, 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 no. That's still regular Olivia. It's just
Oh.
uh,
Okay. Okay. I got you.
10
I got you.
years in the future or so. Yeah, about 10
But
years.
but ironically enough, 3 years, 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Older than us right now. 3 years later than where we are right now.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with the world going to shit, they still things still seem kind of better.
What it was on Fringe?
I mean, like, even with the world going to shit in 2026 in their world,
And they were
it's still like, at least they've made some advancements in that time. Our world's just going to shit with no advancements.
Oh my god.
We just keep going backwards. Oh, we got ChatGPT. Yeah, cool. Fucking boo.
Oh my god. Okay. So what I was asking is taking that Peter enough to like let me put it to you, do you believe that what Walter did caused actual issues, or was this like the venom of a father that finally found out where his son was and was determined to fuck up this other universe and that you know what I'm saying and that Walter.
Well, it is a fact within the show that what the way Walter crossed over did cause the tears
Okay.
that caused the problems in that other universe. So he definitely initiated everything
Okay, so
by
there
doing
was
what he did,
so
but
so there definitely was some real problems that occurred.
yeah, like because of the way he did the things that he did, the way he crossed over and everything, that does create the what do they call them? Like can't remember what they called them in the parallel universe. But those spots that they have to cover with amber, just sort of cover up the tears.
Were they called soft spots?
Soft spots, yeah. I guess it soft spots that just kind of ripped open.
Yeah, yeah. They had to cover them. They had to call them soft. They were called soft spots, and they had to encase them in. Well, I mean, they were soft spots that could potentially grow into vortexes, and
Yeah.
the amber was used to close close them before they became vortexes and swallowed up people. So yeah.
But
Though I do wonder how they covered the ones that like opened up in say like the middle of that. What was that river? Like the big. Because it was the. Fuck, I forget. I think it was in New York.
Yeah, it was
It
in
opened
New
up in,
York,
like,
but I
middle of-
believe it was off. It was off to the side of Manhattan.
Yeah, whatever that's called. The Hudson?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
okay, I'm gonna put myself on the limb here, but I think it was Thames.
No, that's England.
Yeah,
Why did I see? Why I feel like I saw that word THAMES?
Yeah, that was later on. Yeah, that was later on.
The Thames is in England.
Okay, well then,
Yeah, that was.
I'm out.
I think that was in the future, but
Then I'm out. All right.
yeah, let's say it's the Hudson. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for all we know, it could be I don't know, denial.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my God, you're being really oozy today, pal.
It's still not worse than Repeater. Fucking stone.
Oh, come on, man. That is comedic gold right there.
Yes, it's comedic gold, but still, fuck you. It could be both.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. When I think about it, when I always thought about when I was trying to get refreshed back into those names, into those nicknames, I was like, yeah, what would you call Peter? What would you call? You know what I'm saying? Then I knew some shit wouldn't work. Like, I'm just gonna say it because hey, we're having fun here. But it was like, what about the other? Okay, the other assistant, the other agent that was helping out in the other universe. Would they call her Lastrid?
All right, now that's a reach, dude. That's a
See,
reach.
Yeah.
I knew it was.
I won't give you that one.
But we're having fun here, so I just put it out there. I could have kept it to
I'll
myself.
curse you for Repeater, but I'll give you that one.
I'm just saying. I just threw it out there because hey, I'm having fun. I'm just gonna throw the bloopers out there. That's fine. I knew that was a blooper. So it's just
Maybe you call alternate Astrid, because she's number 2.
You know what? You honestly could have gave
Get it?
her.
Poop.
No, you honestly could have gave her any one of the names that Walter gave her. You know what I'm saying? Making fun of her ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, just pick one. You know, she could have been Astro. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just pick one.
Aspirin. Fucking, yeah, pick any number of them.
Or maybe we'll just go ahead and call her Agent Farnsworth because you know he couldn't think of her name or anything else. Yeah, he would actually go with Agent Farnsworth. That would be fine. That actually worked out. You know, like it could just never be Astrid. or maybe call the other universe Astrid.
All right,
Astrid.
I'm going to go to hell for this, but I'm going to call her Ostrid.
Okay.
Autism, because Astrid from the other side has autism.
Okay,
Really?
I was thinking you were calling her a bird, like
Really?
ostrich.
No. She
Fucking
clearly
bird,
has
bitch,
autism.
Astrid.
Yeah, Astrid, you bitch.
I wasn't analyzing.
No. Astrid from the alternate reality is autistic. She is. With how she handled different scenarios and different pathways and different numbers, she had to be autistic. It was obvious, like she had to be.
Okay.
So yeah, I call her
Because, like, she almost behaved almost kind of like a computer of sorts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I definitely saw that. I just don't always see, and that's another thing that I don't want to do all the time is stereotype people with autism and make it seem like anybody who's
Well, in that particular case, it wasn't stereotyping because it was obvious.
But what I mean is, I don't like when I see certain people that are very studious, very very numbers oriented, very it's very straight laced. I don't automatically go to they're possibly autistic and things like that because I just don't want to start assigning a certain thing to people, and things like that. But
coming from somebody who is also on the autism spectrum, I was able to pick up on similar signals. She was definitely on the spectrum. I'm certain of it.
Oh, no problem. And I would definitely defer to you as far as your knowledge on that. All I'm saying is I just don't like. That's probably why I didn't think that maybe that was what that was. Like maybe I usually would, but it's like because I don't always want to go to that. Like, oh, she must be because she's like that. Like I don't want to start thinking like, oh, they all gotta be like that because it's just like all human beings. Some people with autism are very different too. They don't all move that same way. So. Just
yeah.
And there's a reason they call it a spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, not everybody on the spectrum is the same, but there are similarities between the different people on the spectrum. There are similarities.
For sure. But I would defer to somebody.
Hey Charles, what are you eating and is it delicious?
It is delicious, and it's pizza.
God damn it.
That's why
me
I'm not
hungry.
on camera. That's why I'm not on camera, because I don't want you to see me stuffing my face with pizza.
My shame. You will not see my shame.
Yeah. Don't look at my shame. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Eats pizza really weird. He kind of kisses it a bunch, then he eats a little, and kind of nibbles on it. He kisses it a bit more.
Right, you go, oh, look at me.
Yeah. I know. I was kind of hoping that you guys wouldn't hear me eating, but clearly you did. Clearly you did.
You know, it takes somebody who might be hungry to notice it. Somebody, am I eating? There's meat going on around here. I can hear it.
Someone's
Who's
eating.
It's like, who's eating? It's like I hear.
Yeah,
I said to
I just wanted to make a point that, you know, the thing about, oh God, it's so good. You know, I was just trying to say,
It's like I said, the disturbance
So you
is the
say,
force.
so you say it was obvious, right? So you say it was obvious
I
then?
thought so.
Oh God, you guys are terrible.
That's what he's. I didn't see. Apparently, I missed it. Apparently, I missed all the moans and the happy
Oh my
grumbles.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
This pizza
Apparently,
is
I missed
so
all of that. I missed all of that
Brody,
shit.
what would I
So
do without you, you sexy bitch?
all the smacking and enjoying, I missed all of that shit. So I'm like, whoa, okay.
It wasn't as obvious as I made it sound, but
Because I'm like,
I'm sorry
God
for
damn.
being perceptive sometimes, Stone. Jesus,
no.
you gotta shame me
But that was me
like I'm
being
shaming Charles.
that was me
How
being
dare you.
sarcastic. That was me being sarcastic. I was like, yeah, so you're saying it was obvious then. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ. Like say it was obvious without saying it was obvious. That's what you did there. That's what you did there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will try to be more quiet when it comes to eating my pizza.
Look, he was
You're
just
fine.
he was,
Don't worry about it.
he was just being an ass. He was just being an ass.
Exactly. I have very little skills. It's one of the-
All right. Well, so back to Fringe.
Of course, of course. Now let me ask you this, guys. How can someone indict someone else for not knowing them enough to recognize the differences?
Oh man, Peter was really dealing with crazy bitch energy this season.
When there were things that she didn't even know about herself, when there were things about her own self, her own childhood that she repressed, there were things she didn't even know about herself that got revealed. But yet he's supposed to know enough about her to spot the differences. You know, and I think in a way they kind of wanted to show, like, even as a kid, he knew the difference. But there's no way you could spot a difference with someone that you really didn't get to know like that, intimately like that, when they don't know enough about themselves. But when he knew his parents weren't his fucking parents. But it's like to know Olivia is not really, this is a different Olivia, is like,
That's
you know,
it. And like when he said, like, he's like, I dismissed the differences because I thought I brought out that change in you. That's a perfectly reasonable way to think.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. It's just personally, in that whole like back and forth between Olivia and Peter, where Olivia was upset, saying like, "How did you not notice the differences?" I think Olivia was the one that was being unreasonable.
I mean, but
Like,
the
I
thing
get her
is-
being upset, but yeah, she was kind of being, unreasonable.
And the conversation and the question I'm asking now is that how could someone indict someone like that when as we see in the show, like, there's things she didn't even know about herself that she didn't even realize or remember about herself in her childhood that started to come out and flood out. So it's like, it's essentially, there's things about yourself that you don't even know, but you expect him to know you so intimately that he would know there's no way this is you. When you hardly
Peter
know the full
was
you.
like, Peter was technically getting raped for a few weeks.
Oh,
It
come
was someone
on.
wearing an Olivia mask.
Come on. This is not adoptable. Well, this is
I
totally
said
adoptable.
technically, but still, it's just like you're banging someone you think is someone, but it's not that someone. Isn't that some kind of rape?
Oh my
You didn't,
god!
you didn't,
What?
you didn't consent to that.
Okay, so you went there. So okay.
I mean, I get where you're going. I guess I do, but it's foggy. It's murky.
Exactly. And that's why she should fucking relax. This
Okay.
poor fuck, who is supposed to have a genius intellect, was duped for all these weeks and
But
raped.
okay, he's not.
And he's gonna fucking, he's living with that now. He's living with shame and fucking like feeling like an idiot because yeah, he didn't realize what was going on.
But I mean, he's okay. He's essentially a genius, but he's not Johnny mnemonic. He can't do DNA cultures. You know what I'm saying? Analyze DNA cultures on the fly. You know what I'm saying? With a computer in his brain. I mean, it's like there's no way he can fucking figure out, or he can fucking figure out some kind of way scientifically. This is not really fucking Olivia. I mean, it's
No,
like,
but like you gotta imagine, like if something like that happens to you, you gotta feel like an idiot.
no,
Because it's like yeah, there's no way you could have known, but you like I feel like somewhere in your head you just got to be like
Shapeshifter maybe, but if she felt any kind of way,
man, I think shapeshifter would be easier. She gets wet and it's all silver.
no, because they don't. What are you talking? What are you talking about right now?
You know, Mercury.
Yeah, like God, I knew I was gonna have to change the sheets, but fine, I'm gonna throw these out.
Oh my god.
And there's like the silver mercury and all that, and then of course there's the potential brain damage. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that someone that has resources of government and things like this and other side this and other side that, you know what I'm saying, all this reverse knowledge that they have on each other, it's like, and then once you get a hold and you get in the person's environment and a trained government agent, you know what I'm saying, studies enough, they'll be able to get most of the shit right. So unless he gets to see the tattoo on her neck, which I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Which I guess they only did missionary.
I
Actually,
mean,
no, she had the tattoo removed, so that's not his fault either. Although, when did she have that removed?
Yeah, when did
When
she
she
have
did
Did
that
have
when
it
you
removed?
first
removed.
Newton is
Was
the
when
one
she-
that removed it.
So it's when she.
Holy
Okay.
shit, he did? Oh,
Yeah. So
I
Yeah,
forgot
okay.
about
Newton
that.
removed
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about
Okay.
their
So they might have
meeting.
done some wild shit, and he would never have seen it.
Okay, we'll see. And then again, it's like, but again, I have to go on the basis of she was at a period of not fully knowing herself. So it's irrational to ask someone else to know you to an extent where they would be able to know his parents, even to a point where you live with somebody for 9, 10, 11 years of your life. You know your parents are not your fucking parents. You know your parents are not your fucking parents. You've only known this person for maybe a couple of years, maybe if we give the show
I
that
think
kind of
quite
credit.
literally about 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, if you give the
Because
show that kind
I
of
think he
credit,
says that. Someone said that at some point, either him or her, one of them.
that's still not enough for me to know someone that you're not related to a degree that you would know that they're not that person or whatever. Especially given everything that's gone on up until this point, it's just you would think
Oh
it
yeah, and
changes
definitely.
people.
Like, and again, like because like the relationship changes all of a sudden, which just before regular Olivia disappeared, it was sort of in that sort of almost transitional phase before she actually was replaced.
Yeah, because it was more. I think. Yeah, because it was more. She was starting to reveal her feelings right before the switch happened. I think.
Yeah,
my
definitely.
memory ser-
Yeah, because when she came over to that's how she convinced him to come back. She's like,
Oh
"You should
yeah,
come back
yeah, of course.
because you
Yeah,
should
of
be with
course.
me."
Of course, yeah. Got it. And
Yeah,
Charles,
I'm not saying like he should have known. I just feel like, again, going off I guess my own personal feelings, I think I'd feel like an idiot. Even though it's like there's no way I could have known, I still think I'd just be kind of like,
the
fuck.
time. I think the time frame. I think the time frame and the person and that person's personal status, it gets in the way of that. He can't. You can't know enough about a person who's fully in touch with themselves in 2 years to know enough about them to be able to say there's only certain things that are certain memories that they know that they will possibly know that this person wouldn't know. That's the only way. If a person looks exactly like a person, did their hair up exactly like that person, and the only way you would know that they're not them is they if they didn't know about something, they didn't remember something that it would be something to remember, and they didn't remember it, or if they don't do a certain thing a certain way that you know is is a definite thing, and but the but simply a but simply just a way a person moves, it takes a lot more years to be with a person to really be able to get a sense of the way a person moves, the way they are, the way they talk, how they, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
how they interact and react to certain things, and it's just it takes more than 2 years. It takes more, and really, I would probably say less of that time because we say 2 years overall, but how much of that time where he was really getting interested in who Olivia is and becoming interested more romantically with her, where he was more interested, more than just kind of being there for his father and trying to help them out with these friend situations and becoming more interested in who Olivia is. That wasn't always the case.
No,
It
I
was
would say probably about half that time.
so
Because
again.
in
So
the first season, he's very begrudgingly there. Like he likes Olivia. There's definitely kind of flashes of them having a connection,
oh yeah,
but for the most part, he's very begrudgingly there. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't like. He's like, yeah, you're fine and all, but second season is when Peter's like sort of attitude shifts, and he's actually
and,
happy to be helping out. And yeah, again, like that relationship starts to develop.
And here's a little bit more. Here's a little bit more of the irony that pops up before I have to go and check on things. A little bit more of the irony that pops up in the show, don't you? You know what I'm saying? In a way, like she's so repressed in her mind, she doesn't even remember that she saw Peter at one point in time in her life.
Like, yeah, to be fair, it was kind of a weird, somewhat probably traumatic period in her life, but you still think like you'd remember, right?
No, no. What I'm saying is,
She's got photographic memory.
but what I'm saying is that the point that I'm trying to make is that you didn't even have a full sense of yourself. You didn't even have a full sense of even knowing Peter at one point in time in your life and everything like that. And yet you think that he should know enough about you to where I know for sure that's not Olivia. I should, I know for sure that's not her. And you hardly even know the full you now. It just doesn't, it just seems a little, it just seems like, again, it's sort of like that thing that I started to feel as I got older when it came to, it's the same thing. I started to realize now, like, why are you trying to jam and make the relationship and the love situation seem so much bigger than the overall thing that they're dealing with? Because it's really not. I have to be honest. I'm sorry, love is a powerful thing, but it's not bigger than what the fuck is going on in the situation.
Did my audio just cut out, or you muted? Charles, are you
I'm
there?
mute. I'm mute.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done eating. I'm done.
And good, 'cause I need you to come on right now because I have to check on something.
Might be me.
Right, of
Hold on a
course.
second.
Yep, I am back. All right. And now if my cat will get out of the damn way. There you go, kitty. Get on the bed. All right. I apologize for that, folks. Me being all disgusting eating my pizza. But anywho, on the subject of Fringe, which of course I was kind of paying attention because I'm a terrible person. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, what they were talking about, talking about Well, here comes somebody. Give him a minute. Give him a minute. Do. Let's see. Come on. There he is. Yeah. You good, Damian?
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know if Stone was muted or my audio cut out or you both were muted or I just thought, fuck it, I'll refresh it, see what happens.
Yeah, it's all good. But what were you guys talking about while I was disgustingly eating my pizza?
Shake my head. We were talking about why Peter shouldn't really have known that Folivia was Folivia.
Right.
Though I will agree to this comment here.
Speech patterns are another way to see if a person you know is really them. That is true. That is very
Which
true.
is like, as a viewer, that was definitely like the way she played the character was definitely very different. Like, aside from the differences Peter said he noticed, like she was quicker to a smile and stuff, which to me you could attribute to like, yeah, she's finally in a relationship with somebody who she adores. It might create some kind of shift, but yeah, the way she actually sort of just kind of behaved and the way she spoke was different.
Well, let me just put it like this. It's just like, even though Peter wasn't able to notice it, the audience members, like specifically me, and I don't know about you or Stone, but me specifically, I was able to pick up on the subtle differences. I was.
Oh yeah, like from the second like they sort of at the end of season 2 when they sort of focused on her after they came back, you could just tell something was different. There was just something about the way she was behaving that just you could just tell what had happened.
There was something. Now the first time I watched the show, and alternate broils said like told Folivia to go do what they wanted to do, and then there was that quick cut where right before Olivia threw the grenade and Folivia fired her gun.
Yeah.
I did not catch that scene originally. I didn't catch that scene until this time viewing it. So
yeah, I didn't catch
like,
like the first time I didn't catch it, and then like I got to the end of the episode, I was like, wait a minute. I rewound to that scene. I was like, oh, okay. I see what's happened here.
Yeah.
It's very a quick shift.
Yeah, it was very quick. Like if you blink, you might miss it. Yeah.
Quite literally, yeah. I feel like it was maybe a few frames at best.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It just, I mean, when Olivia, well, let's just say Olivia came back to our reality, there was something off. Like, it was, I don't know what it was. Like, it might be her mannerisms, it might be the way she walks. Like, there was something off about it.
Yeah, which huge credit I'll give to both Anatov and John Noble. They played both of those characters perfectly.
Oh, like, yeah, absolutely.
Very distinctively different while still being the same characters.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's impressive.
It's just a credit to their talent as actors.
Yeah.
It's just they were phenomenal in those roles. And to be honest, I'm disappointed in myself that I did not follow Anna Torv's career after she was done with Fringe.
Because she was in another show that I've been wanting to check out. Was it Mindhunter? I think.
Let me check it out. Let's see. Anna.
I think it was that. There was something else I've been wanting to check out, and she was also briefly in The Last of Us as well, which at first I didn't recognize her because she looks very different in that show.
Mm-hmm. I'm checking out her IMDb page. Let's see. Okay, so she was in Mindhunter. She was, but she was only in it. She was only in it for 17 episodes. She was in The Last of Us for 3 episodes. Her one of her more recent works is The Newsreader. She was in that for 6 episodes.
Definitely heard of that, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
And then she's also in one thing she's in is So long, Marianne. So long, Marianne. She's playing a character named Clift.
Look up
Yeah,
Anna
but
Torv in The Last of Us. I want to see if you think like if you would recognize her at first. Either. Like maybe it's just because I hadn't seen her in anything in so long, but
did
I
you
thought she
watch
looked.
Last of Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the scenes that she was in Last of
Oh,
Us.
you have
Like
seen her.
I haven't watched Last of Us, but I did watch clips of it, and I did watch the scenes that she was in, and I did kind of recognize her. She looked very different,
Yeah,
but
like
I
because
I
she's kind
did.
of like looks kind of weathered and she's a bit heavier and like
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and I do know that she was only in the show for like 3 episodes because she plays the character that dies like really early in the video game.
yeah.
She plays Tess. And apparently she dies in a way where she gets bitten by one of the infected, and then one of the other infected decides to French kiss her or something. I don't know.
It was a little bit weird, but the death in the show I would say is better than the game. It serves more
Well,
of a purpose to a
well,
point.
in the video game, she gets bitten, but then she gets gunned down by like those mercenaries.
Yeah, by what are they called? The government agency. Fucking. It's not FEMA, but it's something like FEMA.
Yeah, they basically become extremely
Like
corrupt, and
not something like not doing the same as FEMA, but it's something like it sounds kind of like that from memory. I just can't remember what they're called.
yeah, I don't
DEMA,
remember what they're called.
But
NGO.
It's
where were we? Um,
Yeah, we
sorry, what were
were
you gonna say?
talking about Fringe, then we started talking about Anna Torv, then we started talking about what Anna Torv is doing now, then we started talking about her role in Last of Us, and now we're talking about apparently FEMA. It's an interesting segue of all things. Yeah,
But this is what we do here, and we do it so well. I
yeah.
feel like I truly do feel like. But I just but I definitely just found the kind of over elevating a relationship in what I'm saying in these shows like this, especially when there's something like so much bigger going on and shit like that.
Hmm.
It's quite crazy. I mean, now one thing that's definitely crazy is the I mean fucking I mean do you think we'll reach science to where a recovery could be as miraculous as Lincoln Lee's recovery after what he experienced? I mean, that close
I
range.
think
Oh,
I
you're
think
you're
yes.
talking
Oh
about
well, how
it.
close?
Say
Uh,
again.
so you go, Charles?
Oh no, you're talking about how he became like. I don't even think those would be classified as third degree burns. I think those are like fourth or fifth degree burns.
That's what I.
And
Yeah,
That's what I call the way my aunt likes her hot dogs when when we have cookouts.
so
unrecognizable.
your aunt prefers her hot dogs to be charred and
Supercharged,
super charred. What?
supercharged.
Why?
Cause I don't know. That's
That
just
is
that's just a
disgusting.
cookout. That's a cookout way for some people. They love
There
it.
is
I don't
no
know.
way that you could ever get any proper flavoring out of that. No
Some
way.
people seem to like it.
You would bite into that and you might lose a tooth or two.
That's
Surprisingly, they
good.
don't.
You get this crispy layer of well,
Char,
I guess burnt is a flavor, but aside
this
from burnt,
crispy
it's a
layer of
crispy
char.
layer of nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, just
you got to
char.
get
Yeah,
through that
You would
to get
take
to anything that tastes good.
you would take that super charred hot dog, throw it at somebody, and you might kill them.
Comes a projectile.
or it might
Yeah,
disintegrate into ash. It's depending
maybe.
on who's cooking it. Depending on who's cooking it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
seriously, like, I mean, I like my hot dogs to be a little burned, but I mean, not super charred. No,
Yeah, they want Lincoln Lee. My aunt likes Lincoln Lee hot dogs.
really.
You know what I mean? Call back. I'm sorry. That's probably like my favorite line out of Pixels. from Josh Gad. That line from Josh Gad. You know, I just
I never saw Pixel, so what did he say?
because he was saying something that was sounding weird. You know, saying to the guy when he was talking to these Marines and whatnot. He was talking shit. And he was saying, I'm gonna be in your ass or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, it's just like.
Oh God, I see it. Yeah.
I
He
like
tries
that
to
movie
be
a
all-
lot more than I expected to.
Huh?
You see, I never saw it.
Pixels.
I wanted to see it, but I
Fun.
never got the chance to see it. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
fun movie.
I would
I
recommend.
definitely
it.
recommend it.
I
Which
would
I watched it because Stone recommended it.
And because Kevin James from King of Queens fame, he definitely. It's like it's funny how some people love the like their mentality or their interpretation of the president and who they feel like could be the president. And for Kevin James to be the president of the United States, it's just Big Bush is what I like to call him sometimes. They actually depicted him as Big Bush, in my opinion, because he was in there talking to kids when when they got attacked by the fucking video, by the aliens and whatnot, and he kind of did a Bush move in a way, Just funny, I definitely highly recommend it. I'm underselling it now, but I highly recommend Pixels, but.
Okay, so let's see. Back to Fringe.
Back to it. Well, let me see here. Let me check out something else. Something I'll probably say a little bit more. Let's see.
What do you got?
Maybe okay. What about the one where all the people lost their memory?
I blank.
Okay, so
Was that the mind control episode?
the mind control. Wait, the mind control episode, was that season 2 or 3?
I think that might have been two, but it's where people
No,
see. This
it was
one was
two.
where people listen to a shortwave radio and lost.
Oh,
their
the number
memory.
stations.
The number stations, yeah, because the episode where the kid that has the mind control effect that takes over Peter's mind and forces him to drive him to his mother's house. That's season 2, right?
Yeah, that was season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Which we never brought that up. That was the same actor that played Jerome and Jeremiah Velasca from Gotham. And he plays Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, the video games.
That's the main character, right?
Yes, the main character. He is
Okay.
also in. He's also.
I've never
in the
seen
show
Gotham, but I have played the first one.
Yeah, he's also in the show Shameless as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
Still
remember
haven't seen the
character's
US
name.
version.
Yeah, I can't remember the actor's name, but it's Cameron something. I can't remember, but he's been in a lot of stuff. But yeah, but his characters in Gotham were basically the Gotham equivalent of the Joker character.
Okay. I
Yeah,
haven't seen Gotham, but I remember seeing pictures of that character.
yeah. But Jerome and Jeremiah Velasca were basically just versions of the Joker. That's all they were.
Okay.
Yeah. Which he did a very good job at that. He was very good at it. But he was probably one of the better performances in that show, aside from everybody else.
That's a show I wanted to check out, and still would like to check out, but I've heard such mixed things that it kind of put me off a little bit.
Let me put it to you like this. The show has problems. My
'Cause,
biggest
what is
issue...
it?
My
the lead
biggest
guy who
issue
played-
with
Gordon? Did he play Gordon, I think? The guy from fucking Southland and the OC.
Yeah,
Fucking-
my biggest issue with Gotham is what they did to the Poison Ivy character. They completely ruined that character, and I was really upset with it. I'm still upset with how they handled that character. They
What
just
did they
kept
do?
eight. All right, the whole premise, like sidetrack here, folks. I apologize here, but I'm a little rant here because I always go on this rant when I talk about Gotham. So brace yourselves. It's just the whole premise of the show Gotham was to show the heroes and the villains before they became the heroes and the villains. It's when they
Yeah.
were younger. It's them growing up and becoming their respective characters. Like it's like an origin story for everybody, and that's basically what it was supposed to be. With the Poison Ivy character, however, as you know, Poison Ivy's real name is Pamela Isley. That's what it's always been in the comics. That's not what it was in the Gotham TV show. They changed her name to Ivy Pepper because I don't really know, but I think the only real reason they did it is because they thought that the audience was too stupid to figure out that Pamela Isley was going to be Poison Ivy, so they decided to make it so obvious that people wouldn't be able to figure it out. And they just called her Ivy Pepper. So they're like, oh, that's Poison Ivy. I figured it out. Oh boy, I'm a whatever. And then at like her character was like really was like a 14-year-old, like I don't know, like 13, 14-year-old girl at first. And then of course it got to a point where they introduced metahumans, and there was a metahuman that if he touched you, he would accelerate your aging. And what they did is they had the guy grab her arm, and then she fell down this pipe, and then we didn't see her again for a few episodes. And then when we saw the Ivy Pepper Poison Ivy character again, it was a different actress who was much older, someone who was in their 20s. And the only reason why they aged her up is so that they could actually start using the actress in that way, because they couldn't use the 14-year-old actress in that way, so they decided to age up the character to, I think the new actress like was in her mid 20s, and they decided to upgrade to like the 26 to like 27-year-old actress so they could doll the character up and make a more attractive character and use Poison Ivy in that way. And then they decided to change the character again by replacing her again with an older actress who was now in her 30s and do the same thing again. And they completely, like, Poison Ivy was the one character in that show that they mistreated the worst. And I freaking hated it. I did.
Do you
I
think that's just
fucking
a series of them like figuring like, oh fuck, we like kind of screwed up. We started too young. And they're just trying to course correct.
I don't really know. I really don't know. But I think the most damning thing of all is that they completely changed her name. That was the
Hmm.
most damning thing of all. It's just because I
That's
mean the changing of the name of from Pamela Isley to Ivy Pepper just screams that the producers of the show thought the audience was too stupid to figure out that Pamela Isley was going to become Poison Ivy. So they used the name Ivy Pepper because it was more obvious. And so
I
they
think
would
I
make
think you're all I almost guarantee you're right about that. And that's one of
yeah.
many like one of the main things I've always hated about network TV is that stuff they insert in there for
Mhm,
stupid people.
yep.
Like Fringe does it very occasionally. They're pretty good with it. Grimm, I definitely noticed quite a few lines where they would just like they would reiterate something that was unnecessary or something just because like
Mhm.
you're stupid, right? You don't understand what's going on.
Yeah,
And
it's just I
if
mean,
you're someone who isn't a dullard and actually is paying attention, it's just like why are we talking about this again? Or why is this line repeated like three lines later?
yep, exactly. And it's just I mean
I fucking hate shit
the
like
whole
that.
the whole name change for Ivy Pepper, at least for Pamela Isley to Ivy Pepper, at least to me, felt
Hmm.
like a slap to the face. That's what it felt like, and it was insulting. It's like no, this is a disrespect to the Poison Ivy character. Pam
I think that's
Ivy
the
Pepper
only
is
thing
not her
ever
name.
where they've changed the name.
Yeah, Ivy
I
Pepper
can't think
is
of
not
anything
her
else.
name. Pamela Isley
No.
is her name. And then the
And it's
way
a
that, like
stupid name too.
It is a stupid name. The only reason why it is the way it is because it's similar to Poison Ivy. That's the only
Yeah.
reason.
And
And
it's
it's
just,
just like, I
ugh.
mean, even with the changing of the actors as the show progresses, that is still stupid, but it's nowhere near as bad as the changing of the name, because the changing of the name just feels like the worst part, because it's
And it's like,
obvious what they were trying to do.
you have dialogue and other stuff, other things to work with, right? You could add hints in. Like,
Exactly.
add a
No.
scene where she's like particularly enamored with a fucking flower or something. Like,
Oh, and
there's things you could do.
when they first introduce her character, before we even know her name, she's in her bedroom at her parents' apartment, and she is
Hmm.
surrounded by potted plants. She's surrounded by potted plants. And I'm like, okay, we don't even need to worry about the name change. This right here, all these potted plants, is all the information we need to know that this is going to become poison ivy. That's it. That's
That's
all we
it.
need to know.
Do you ever see fucking the Riddler hanging out with petunias? I don't think so.
No. Oh, and look, they even got Riddler. They got Riddler's name right. They got Oswald Cobblepot's name right. They got Victor Freeze's name right. They got Hugo Strange's name right. Ivy Pepper is the only one they fucked up. It's the only one.
Like,
It's
I
like,
kind
okay,
of
if
want to
you
look
get
it up, but
everybody else right, you get
I figure you're
everybody else
probably
right.
exactly right.
It's like you get everybody else right in that show except for her. Why? Like, seriously, why? I don't
And you
understand
rename it to
why they.
sound like an Archie character or something.
Yeah, it was just, it didn't make sense to me. It really didn't.
That works.
But yeah, it doesn't matter now. The show is over, so it's done. It got 5 seasons. The show is over, so whatever.
Did it end or was it canceled?
It did get a proper ending, but I wasn't really satisfied with the ending.
Boy, you really seem.
I'm sorry, Stone. I was interested.
No, problem. You really seem. He really seems, pissed, aggravated.
There at the end of the
I haven't
show,
even
there
seen
was a
it.
time
It
jump.
pisses me off.
At the end of the show, there was a 10-year time jump, and I will say that Batman does show up. He does show up at the end,
So they pulled a Smallville.
kind of. Yeah, yeah. He does show up, kind of, but he kind of looks weird. Like, because they use the same actor that played Bruce Wayne throughout the entire show, and he's not built enough to play Batman. He's not. He's scrawny and he's short. So yeah, it's just, no, it wasn't very good. I didn't like it. So in other words, I'm happy Gotham is over, and I'm just going to forget that it exists.
Okay. And we're much happier for you doing that. We can all move on and rise above and namaste. Namaste on that black eye and comic cinema or comic content.
Yeah. Putting Gotham aside, I would much rather prefer to go back and watch Smallville again. Because
I've been wanting to do that for years.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was a very good show. And even though it had Allison Mack in the show, because, I mean, everybody hates that bitch. But,
she's still cute, despite her sex trafficking whatevers.
Yeah, she's still cute, but she's an evil bitch. But
oh yeah, that's a broken woman.
yeah,
for sure.
But no, it's just, I mean, the show was fun. It was fun. But yeah,
introduced me to Jensen Ackles.
Same with me as well. Yeah, I forgot he was in the show.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna assume he left because of Supernatural. That character had a kind of fairly abrupt exit.
Yeah, he did end up doing Supernatural like right after he left Smallville.
he got crushed by a stadium collapsing or something, I think, from memory.
Sounds about right. Yeah. But he was a bad guy in the show, I think, in Smallville. He was a bad guy.
I think he was okay at first, and then something went wrong, but
Yeah.
it's been quite a while.
Yeah. Yes,
Nearly
I
20 years at
apologize,
this point.
folks. We keep detracting away from Fringe, and we keep talking.
I always
about,
put "and more" in the description when I talk about what we're discussing. So
Yeah,
if you
this
don't,
is just this is just basically our expression of the classic improv trope of yes and.
Of course. But we definitely see the observers making more of a presence in this season.
and then I guess the main observer, September.
September is one of the more prominent observers, but I don't think he's the main observer.
Well, the
He's
main,
the
like
one that-
when I say main, I mean the one we like see the most.
Oh, then yes, he is the one we see the most.
Yeah, but he becomes, to tie back to Gotham a little bit, kind of a Batman type figure in one episode, but with an ulterior motive.
That's true, because he shows up at that jewelry place and like saves the girl that's having the asthma attack.
Yeah, and then steals her inhaler, and then
Yeah.
and then tries to kill her with a truck, with a pickup.
Well, I mean, he is an observer, so he sees things like he doesn't see time in a linear sense like we do.
No,
He sees time from all points simultaneously. He sees the past, present, and future all at the same time.
Which I will say that episode was probably one of my favorite episodes of the season, just because of the way it played out. Like that
Yeah, like
was
the
very
part-
cool. Seeing like his I think he referred to it as an experiment. It was a test, basically. The whole thing was a test for Walter.
Yes, it was. It was to see if he was willing to let Peter die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was the part where at the beginning of the episode where Walter opened the refrigerator and put that milk in the refrigerator, and and then of course at the end of the episode, Peter was like, grabbed the milk, and I'm like, oh fucking hell! It's just, God damn it, Walter! No, not God damn it, Walter! God damn it, Peter! You should know not to drink anything or eat anything in this fucking lab.
Like, best case, it's full of LSD. Best case.
But yeah, that's the best case. Worst case, there's something growing in it.
And speaking of LSD, we have that of course stowaway episode. I believe
Yeah,
that's
the
no,
episode
I'm sorry.
where we
I'm sorry.
have
That's not the right one, but that's where it starts, where he, where he gets, where basically Olivia gets inhabited, but of course what I'm thinking of is of course lysergic acid diethylmide.
Episode 19.
Yep.
So we're not going to talk about the time where Broyles inadvertently like ingests LSD.
Is that time?
That was the very same episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's just
And he
sitting there
just-
blowing bubbles.
Yeah, he ends up becoming fascinated with a stick of licorice. It's like it just keeps going. Yeah. It just twirls. Like, what the hell, Broyles? And I'm actually disappointed that we never gave an alternate reality name to alternate Broyles.
No. It was just... I mean, if anything, he was probably the least different of all the people. Well,
Yeah.
after
I'd
a
agree with
point, at least. Like,
The only thing that was really different between them is that Prime reality, Royals was divorced and only had one kid, and alternate reality, Broyles was still married and had two kids. That was the only real difference.
Wait, did the Prime Universe one have a kid? I thought he
Yeah, he had
didn't
one
have a
kid. He
kid.
had a daughter.
He did have one kid? Oh,
He had
okay.
he had a daughter. Yeah.
But do you think he would have went as far? You think he would have went as far as that Broyles did to help Olivia?
Yes, I think he would have. Yeah.
I
And
think
you,
so.
and you think he would have? I mean, because he ended up really paying with his life. You know, what I'm saying eventually as it shook out though.
His life and his limbs. He turned up like fucking missing like an arm and a leg.
Yep. He was missing his left leg and left arm.
Which I
But I
guess
don't think
goes to
that I don't
the
think that
when they
was
were talking
because of the
about like
transference to the reality. I think that was because he got hit with an explosion. They threw a
I don't know,
grenade
but
and it
I was thinking
But
it might have tied in because they were talking about like when they were going to harvest Olivia's organs, and he was saying he had to replace the mass so they could switch them equally. I was kind of wondering, did they, because he's a bigger guy and stuff, did they have to sever certain things just so the mass was equal?
because he showed up where she showed up, so it was just like a thing to like get her out of there and back over to their side, and then basically sacrificing him, in her place. Pretty much, that's what it kind of that's the tone. It's what it kind of felt to me. That was my
Yeah,
takeaway from that scene.
but yeah, the limbs missing though, I'm thinking was like because it had to be an equal mass. I'm thinking it came down to that.
Good point. But I guess I just think that it was a part. It also could be a part of him is not caring how that whole transfer would affect him.
Also possible.
yeah, possible.
So that's what I kind of felt like it was purposely done.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, anything else to discuss about the episode where Olivia got possessed by William Bell?
I kind of like where it kind of trailed into the LSD episode where they kind of go into her mind, and it seems like everybody's trying to kill them.
You
You know,
see, those like projections that were attacking them, they actually behaved a lot like white blood cells that were attacking a foreign body in their environment. That's what it reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of what was happening in the movie Inception, where the people were entering a person's dream state, and when the projections in the dream realized that those people were not supposed to be there, they would attack them. And it kind of reminded me on how white blood cells would attack a disease or an infection.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
definitely see that.
yeah.
I could
And Charles, did
definitely.
you recognize the man in the blimp, the guy with the X?
Oh, I already know who that is.
It was I forget his name. He was Kai Proctor in Banshee. Like in something Hansen. I forget his actual name.
Are you talking about the voice actor?
Um, I asked because that would have been part of the all animated section, wasn't it? So I guess it
Well,
would
the
have been the
thing is
voice actor.
that it's going to be confirmed in season 4, and this is going into spoiler territory. But the man on the blimp with the X on his shirt is actually supposed to be a version of William Bell. That's who
Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
so maybe that's what maybe I'm thinking of. I swear they had his likeness in the animated episode, but either way, it's the guy from Banshee.
The guy that played Kai Proctor.
Yeah,
Huh. All right. I don't remember Kai Proctor ever showing up in Fringe.
maybe it was a different actor in season 4 then.
Kai Proctor, actor.
Hmm.
All right. Oh, the actor's name is Ulrich Thompson.
Thompson, not Hansen. Thompson. But yeah,
I'm looking.
I like that kind of like almost a Scanner Darkly kind of animated style they did for that. Which I was saying to Charles before the show is I'm fairly sure that was because Leonard Nimoy retired from acting. I think it was the year prior. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
because he was in season 2, so it must have been like or the year or several months prior or somewhere before they did that episode.
Okay.
So that animated thing was to accommodate for him.
Okay,
That's why
you
it's
are
just a voice.
correct. You are correct. He was the man in the Zeppelin.
I thought so.
Yeah, that is definitely him. He was the man in the Zeppelin. He played Mr. X.
So was it him in season 4? Or did they get someone else?
No. He was. He only was in that episode, just that one episode.
Okay, so they got someone
The-
else for season 4.
The confirmation that we got to find out that was a version of William Bell was not the reveal that it was William Bell. It was they ended up coming across technology that had that X symbol on it, and that technology was revealed to be created by William Bell, and that was the confirmation that the Mr. X guy was William Bell.
That's
So
right.
we don't actually see Mr. X again. We don't see him again. But we do see technology that has the X symbol on it that was created by William Bell that proves that Mr. X was William Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I'm really looking forward to getting to the last 2 seasons because my memory's not as good for those. First 3, I'd say. Like first season, I've watched the most. Then the second, then the third. But fourth and fifth, I haven't watched anywhere near as much. Fifth, I've only seen once.
I barely remember season 4, but I do remember quite a bit of season 5.
4. I may have only watched 4 and 5 once each, actually, possibly. But the other ones, I've watched a few times. But it's easy to forget things just because it really does get so fucking complicated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I would say, as I was watching the show, like more things came back to me, but then there's still a lot that I was just like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, this happened. Which is, I love it. And this season 3 is when they really pretty much gave up on the casual audience for the most part. The first 2, they really did that sort of like, we're doing standalone episodes that mostly tie into the overall sort of story. This season, you pretty much really, like, aside from the previously on, you really couldn't get away with doing that sort of casual kind of thing. It's just, you couldn't tell a story this complex without just going all in.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, to take away time and just be like, okay, here's a Monster of the Week episode again. It wouldn't have worked.
No.
Like, there was a little bit of it, but not much.
Yeah. But one thing I do want to bring up, season 3, at least to me, it seems like they decided to go really crazy with the product placement.
Okay. I was wondering when this would come.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just the product placement was just going crazy. Because I mean, they'd be just like Peter and Olivia would just be sitting in their car, or maybe Olivia would be driving in her car, and then all of a sudden they would focus on her holding the steering wheel. She'd press the button, the little bloop thing would happen, and it would say a command, and she would say read text, or it would be call this person or call this person, and I'm like, really? It's like in a show like this, really? Just like, And then of course there'd be scenes where they're like chasing somebody and they get into a car and then the camera focuses on the ass end of the car and it focuses on the name of the model of the car, and I'm like, really? In this show, really? It's just
But as I said to you, like I really didn't notice it in this season, but in earlier seasons I did notice what I would say is the opposite. Where there was many times like the car would pull up to whatever location, there'd be something actually blocking like let's say it's a Ford, something blocking the Ford logo.
Yeah.
Like they really weren't
Oh,
going for that at
oh,
all.
and then there are situations where they are doing not just calling on their phone, going like, hello, hello, hello. They're also doing fucking FaceTime. They're doing goddamn. Yeah,
That stood out to me. Like,
it's like
was
face.
that brand new technology at that point? It
Yes, yes, it
probably
was.
was, right?
Yeah, FaceTime was pretty new at that point. But it's like, are you kidding me? It's like,
Because it was they only did it a couple times, but it was like, why are you making such a point of this? There's no reason for it.
I mean, come on, what is wrong with a goddamn phone call? I mean, even now, nobody really does FaceTime.
I've never done it, not once.
Yeah, I've never done it.
I don't even like phone calls, really.
Neither do I.
But
I
yeah,
only like receive.
FaceTime's like, yeah,
It's like, oh, I'm gonna call somebody and go like, oh, let's do a FaceTime. Ooh, FaceTime. It's just like, I mean, come on, god damn it, really? It's just like, I mean, I understand it was new and interesting technology at the time. I know, I understand that, but you do realize that people kind of have to acclimate to that. I mean, if you're gonna try to force it on them, it's just gonna be fucking cringy. And also, it looked
and then
cringy. It really did. It looked cringy.
and then in a show like this, where that's the least impressive technology of anything in the fucking show, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
video video calls. Oh, that's cool. We're gonna go into
Yeah.
someone's mind right now.
Oh yeah,
A
and then
dead
there's
guy.
also like even like in fucking season 1, you teleported a man out of a German prison.
Yeah. But oh
I
look,
mean,
we can make video calls. Fucking who
hell,
gives a
in
shit?
season hell in season 3, there were men that were getting injections, daily injections that literally made them weightless.
Yeah.
That if they didn't ground themselves to the planet, they would literally float into the
Like a
upper atmosphere.
fucking balloon, yeah.
Yeah.
Just float away.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
FaceTime, oh, this is
Oh yeah.
crazy wild. This is,
Yeah.
can you believe it? Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
Screw weightlessness. I want to talk to somebody FaceTime on my phone. Ooh.
Oh, look, I'm taking a shit. You can see it. Fucking get out of here.
Jesus Christ.
But to that point, I will say that's probably the only time where they did that FaceTime thing where it was useful. I think Nina called Broyles and they were talking about the machine, and I think it was when she first told him it was on, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Really?" And she sort of turned the phone for like half a second. So even that was pretty pointless, but at least it kind of served a purpose in
yeah,
that
because
one
she
moment.
could literally show him that the machine was on.
Yeah, but otherwise, the other two or three times, whatever it was, that they put it in, it was just like, why? Why? Just why?
Yeah, exactly. All right, but aside from talking about the weightlessness people, where it's an example of the laws of physics breaking down all around them,
Yeah.
because Walter wasn't willing to let his son go, unfortunately. Let's see, what else is there to bring up?
The episode with the toxin or whatever that made people's bones disappear or
Oh, that,
evaporate,
yes.
or that was cool.
It wasn't.
That
It
was
didn't. It
probably
didn't
one of the
evaporate. It disintegrated the bones.
you disintegrated. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That was probably one of the more disturbing episodes they've done. Like that was
Yeah,
some
and it
really
also.
creepy shit. Just seeing a person just completely boneless, just flat and just it's
Yeah.
creepy.
Oh yeah, it was gross, and then seeing the guy's bones just disintegrate before our very eyes, I was like, it was rough. The first time I ever watched it, I was like, holy shit, did that just happen?
Fucking, there's a scene when they're investigating it. They're in their like hazmat suit kind of things, and Walter's just like I can't remember what he said, but he's disgusted by it. And Peter's like, "Yeah, this is pretty disturbing even by our standards." And he's like, No, I think I just broke wind in my suit.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was great. Yeah, but no, we can always rely on Walter to say comments like that.
Yeah.
Oh
His
man.
childlike innocence is fucking perfect.
Yep. Oh
And
man.
that's why
It's
when
just
it comes to Walton, it's just like, god damn, the distinction between
Walton
those two performances.
Walternate is who Walter could have become if he had
If
not
he
had
hadn't had
pieces
those
of
pieces, yeah,
yeah, if he had not
those
had
pieces
those
of his
pieces
brain
of his
removed.
brains,
Yeah.
yeah, he had not had them removed. But no, it's just yeah, Walternate is an asshole. Like even when Peter was over on the other side, finally reunited with his real family, Walternate didn't care. Walternate was like, "Oh no," it's just like, "Yes, son, I'm glad you're back over here." But in reality, Walternate was like, I'm going to use you to destroy the other universe. And I
That's it.
don't
It's like,
care
oh,
if
yeah,
it.
yeah, meet your mother. Say hello. Have a couple breakfasts. Now get in the fucking machine.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Walton didn't care. He was like, as
No.
far as he's concerned, his son was already dead. And he had
And
already
I
moved
like,
on.
I was kind of well, like, wondered, like, well, sort of wondered, but it's sort of like, you think maybe is he that way because his son was stolen? But then, so like, it's definitely a contributing factor, but I think, yeah, as we just said, like the removal of the brain pieces from Prime Universe Walter, I think that really is like the ultimate deciding factor. He
Hmm.
didn't have that happen to him, so that's why he became the person that he is.
Yeah, like Walter even said that William Bell even explained that the reason why he removed the pieces of his brain from Walter is because Walter asked him to because he was afraid of what he was becoming.
Yeah,
And
he's
since
just
William
becoming
Bell
this guy
wasn't in
who's
the
just
alternate reality, he wasn't there to remove the pieces of his brain. So Walter was able to become the evil asshat that he became.
and not only was he not there to remove the pieces of his brain, but he wasn't there to be both like a friend and a sort of consultant that also probably had an effect on Prime Universe Walter.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Like,
William Bell did explain that the alternate William Bell had died in a car accident when he was a young man.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
like, did they confirm at all that Walton and that William Bell ever worked together? I don't
No,
think they did.
they confirmed that they never met.
That they never met. Okay. So yeah, like he never had that sort of that partner, that guy who kind of understood him, despite their
Mhm.
differences and disagreements. He never had that guy to sort of yeah go through all this crazy shit with,
Yeah.
which ultimately leads to a man who just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
billions of people are gonna die. Sure, that's cool. Fuck them.
Yeah, and we actually learned that in the episode in season 3 where Peter goes into the machine and sees a glimpse of the future. Waltonate, like he succeeds in destroying the alternate reality, and Waltonate escapes into our reality,
And
and
he's stuck there.
he's causing problems for our reality. He's like, you destroyed my reality, so I'm going to destroy yours.
But slowly and far more sadistically.
Yeah, and he even
Like he
goes as
actually,
far as to.
sorry, you go.
I was just going to say he even goes as far as to kill Olivia Dunham. He shoots her
Yeah,
in the head with a silenced pistol or suppressed pistol.
with no sign of any emotion at all.
Hmm.
Just like a straight up hitman.
Oh yeah,
But
it
yeah,
was it
like he
was
even
bad.
says to him before, like he's like, I'm gonna do it slowly, piece by piece, or something like that. Like this is a very, very sadistic man.
Oh yeah, it's like he doesn't even care anymore.
No, and as even previously, we he you didn't really get much of a sense of humanity from Walton. But at that point, there's nothing left.
Oh no, he's gone.
Which that's probably one of my favorite episodes of the show. That one,
Oh yeah, it was great.
like it's. I've only seen it a couple times in different shows, but I love when that does happen. That kind of like, yeah, like showing what the potential results of what's going on in the show might produce.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
Broyles
also
with his Senator Broyles with his creepy eye, his sort of glowing blind eye.
yeah, and I wasn't expecting a certain actor to be in that episode.
Brad Dourif,
Mm-hmm.
the great Brad Dourif.
Yep. I was like, holy shit, that's Brad Dourif.
Who kind of knowingly doesn't really get like he opens up the wormhole and then just kind of disappears.
Yeah, it was, but then that's because we find out that he's not actually the threat. The threat is
Yeah.
Walternate.
But didn't he do a
He
second
still
one?
at least deserves a death scene, though, right?
Did he do a second location though?
Wait, what?
He did
No,
do
no,
a second location, right?
We're talking about the wormhole in Central Park. After he opens up the wormhole there, that's when he disappears.
Gotcha.
And that's right around the time when Walternate kills Olivia Dunham.
Yeah, because she's there investigating it while
Yeah,
Peter's meeting who he thinks is Walternate, but is a fucking hologram.
Yeah, and that's the episode when we find out who the first people actually are. We find out that the first people are actually 3 people. I can't. Yeah, there we go. The first people are Walter Bishop, Astrid Farnsworth, and Ella. That's it. That's all they are. Because they take the pieces of the machine that are in their present, send them through the wormhole in Central Park, and they go into that 200 million years into the past. And that leads people to believe, oh, the first people are real. And I'm like, you don't set up something as mysterious as the first people, a civilization of humans that existed millions of years ago, and then reveal them to be nothing but a myth by people that sent these machine pieces through a wormhole that then sent those pieces through the wormhole to 200 million years in the past. I'm sorry, that still pisses me off. I was like, ooh, the first people, this is interesting, this is very cool. And then I find out that it was all for nothing. I'm like,
I both agree with that, but also to a point, isn't it kind of one of those things where, like, once it got to the reveal, you're just like, oh, of course it was fucking Walter. You know, like it's kind of.
No, I was kind of disappointed
as well.
I was disappointed that it was Walter, because everything prior to this, everything was Walter, and I would have been more interested to find out that something wasn't Walter for a change.
I mean, yeah, just change it up a little bit. But yeah, at the same time, it's just like, of course it was Walter. The first people were fucking tapioca pudding loving motherfuckers.
I don't know. They
love LSD, tapioca pudding, and Twizzlers.
The question is, did they even have Twizzlers back then?
They were called red vines.
Yeah.
I mean, for all I knew, they were chewing on red-looking plants that resemble Twizzlers. They're like, ooh, this tastes like Twizzlers. What the fuck is Twizzler? I don't know. We're gonna invent it.
So what do we think about It's a Wonderful Life as the finale?
Oh, it's a wonderful.
I was very happy with the future episode.
That wasn't the finale, was it?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the finale. What I mean is A Wonderful Life. It's where it's where we begin a story of a life where Peter never existed.
Oh, you're talking about like he sees what the potential future is, then goes back to the present, and he creates the bridge between the two realities so that they can both work to repair their worlds.
Hmm.
And then he gets erased from reality.
Yeah, the cost of that choice
I do not
is
like
him
that.
being erased from reality.
I don't like that at all. I don't. It's just I don't like that Peter got erased from reality because that completely renders everything that happened the past 3 seasons pointless. It renders everything the past 3 seasons completely pointless. It's like none of it ever mattered. And I don't like that. I really don't. To be honest, having Peter Bishop erased from reality is one of the lowest points of this show. It is. It's one of the lowest points.
I mean, well, yeah,
Actually,
especially right.
yeah. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So here you go.
I don't know, especially when they having him looking like he was trying to be the next president or something like that. You know, especially when they put him in 2026. It's like hell, somebody. It's like my daughter was like she liked the hair. She was liking the way the hair was looking. But I'm like, nah, you trying to look too much like a president. It's weird. But I mean, I guess I guess all of that, and I guess now to try to, and no one's gonna think about how they got there. No one's gonna, even though they don't know Peter ever existed, but no one's gonna still question how they got there.
Well, I think that is like in season 4, isn't it? Like many sort of trace moments where people are so like where Peter's kind of like this sort of trace of something that exists.
So he's doing that again. Okay.
Peter is like the only one that's able to see Peter from the start of season 4 is Walter, and he thinks
Walter.
he's going crazy. Eventually, they start to
That
notice that
spreads.
Peter's
Right? Yeah.
it spreads, and Peter is starting to break through until there's an episode where Chadwick Boseman is a guest star of the episode, and he has the ability, some Cortexiphan ability, which allows them to sort of pull Peter into our timeline. And at the end of that episode, Peter is brought into the timeline, and he sort of like comes up from like underneath a lake, and he shows up, and he tries to meet up with Olivia and Walter and Astrid, and starts telling them, "Hey, I'm back," but they have no idea who he is. Olivia doesn't remember him. Walter doesn't remember him. Astrid doesn't remember him. Not even Broyles remembers him. Nobody remembers him. And he has to go through this whole process to earn his way back in. Yeah. And that's the arc of most of season 4, is that Peter has to try to earn his way back into the good graces of the Fringe division, and eventually Olivia starts to earn her, like, get her memories back, and she's pretty much the only one that remembers Peter. Nobody else gets their memories back. Walter doesn't remember him. Astrid doesn't remember him. Broyles doesn't even remember him. Olivia is the only one that starts to get her memories back.
One thing I did love about the finale was the bridge element.
No,
The
that
way
was
they
cool.
introduced the bridge. I did
Yeah, I
really
did like
that.
that. But as soon as they erased Peter from existence, I was like, well, then what's the goddamn point?
It's less what's the point and more how did any of this happen? Because Peter is the catalyst of all this.
Yeah. They wouldn't have the bridge without Peter.
They wouldn't have the war without they. I mean, yeah, you'd still have Olivia with the powers, and you'd still have. There's a lot of things that would still exist without Peter, but yeah, he's the catalyst for this war between universes and this whole sort of thing. So you would think with him being taken out of existence that Walter obviously never would have gone across to save him.
I think they
There would never
explain
been
that in season
problems.
4.
Yeah,
Walter
I was thinking that, but it's been so fucking long. I was like, I could have sworn they did address it, but
Walter
'cause
does go. Walter does go to the other side to get Peter, but when he grabs him and brings him to our side, they fall through the ice, but only Walter is saved. The Peter from the other side still dies, so both Peters are dead. Both.
wait a minute. I'm just looking at this Kish comment. No, Lance Reddick died, but who was the other one?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Who was the? Yeah, obviously Lance Reddick, which is such a fucking shame. Probably one of my favorite actors, Lance Reddick. But who was?
Yeah. Look, Lance Reddick will always be one thing to me, and that is he's not Toys R Us. He's Toys R Me.
That's one of my favorite sketches ever made. Oh, I'm on my period. No, you're not. He's such a creep. Such an evil fucking creep. It's so great. Running a fucking toy store.
But no, it's like
Kiss.
Seriously, who was the second guy?
Who was the second guy
that passed away?
3:14 a.m.
There's an echo. I'm trying to figure out where
it's coming from.
I think it's coming from. Dead air.
And I'm trying to find the person, and I cannot find it. I cannot find it.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
With the echo here, folks.
We're just having fun.
Oh my god. Yeah, where is that coming from?
Right.
Here, to keep people entertained.
Oh God, Leonard Nimoy. Of course.
Oh God damn it! Of course. Yes, Leonard Nimoy,
of course, died.
But to keep people entertained, I'm gonna do a little dance. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm super weird.
No, I want to believe in Fringe Cocoon. Because the two older guys are passing on. Well, not older. He wasn't. John Noble's older. But I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but John Noble's still
alive.
No, what I'm saying is he's. Lance Reddick was younger than John Noble. He's still an older guy in a way.
Try and say something. I'm gonna mute myself.
Try and say something.
Okay, so it's not me.
Try and say something. I'm gonna mute myself.
Damian. You got no audio coming through, but there is echo. What is going on here?
What is going on here?
Huh. I apologize, folks, for the technical difficulties.
Hmm.
You sound very muffled right now, Damian.
Right now, Damian.
I would just say real quick before I excuse myself for a moment. I would like to institute especially if we get this far along in the show and we're pretty much almost done. I'm willing to accept an equipment failure closeout, especially getting this close, in the situation. Just saying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Just something to think on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't hear you,
I
Damian.
can't hear you, Damian.
Okay, so let's test this. Okay, so the echo is gone. All right, folks, I apologize for any technical difficulties that we have been experiencing for the last few minutes. I do not know if anyone is going to be coming back. I will keep things open for a few minutes just to see if they do come back. I just preemptively, I would like to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out our almost 4-hour show. And yeah, it's been a great discussion discussing Halloween 2018 and Friends season 3. Be sure to check out next week where we discuss Halloween Kills and Fringe season 4 and an assortment of other discussions as well. Yeah, it's just as always, thanks for checking out TEE TV and also my co-host here coming back. And yeah. You fixed your problem, Damian? No? Okay. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. All right. Well, I think at that point, I think we should just call it. Yeah. Yeah. StreamYard being weird. Okay. We'll just let stone that we decided to call it. So, yeah. Well, as always, everybody, thanks for stopping by. And we will see you next week for Halloween Kills and season 4 of Fringe. So, yep. Thanks for stopping, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone. TEE-HEE.